gentlemen, boys and girls, hello, welcome back to another episode of The Watchable with me, your host, Jean-Luc Welch. Thank you, sir, for tuning in and listening. It's time to make some noise. Get excited, clap it up. We are back with another action-packed show for you today, covering the world of boxing and beyond. We got a lot of stuff to talk about this week. A whole bunch of stuff predominantly in the boxing world, but oh, so much more as well. Let's not forget the NFL season starts today. Hey, we're here. Football is back, and we finally got the Cowboys versus Eagles in the first game of the season, 8 o'clock today. Oh, we're going to have some time to talk about that, absolutely. But before that, we got to cover a bunch of stuff in the world of boxing, like with, again, more delving into the world of Crawford versus Canelo. And again, let me do the intro out the way, and I'll say what I need to say in regards to that particular fight and when the breakdown's coming. So let's cover that first. If you're just tuning in, hey, welcome to the Welch Report. I'm your host, Jean-Luc Welch. We're going to have a time. We're going to have ourselves some fun. And since you're here, go ahead and leave a like on the stream. Hey, come on. Get the likes up on this stream. Get the algorithm to see just what we got going on. No, I just ate a waffle. Boy, I got on there. So, but we all good. Well, please keep on liking the stream. Keep on subscribing if you have not already. Come on and join the empire. Come in and be a part of this conglomerate that we got going on together. Also, be sure, as I'm drinking, oh, that's some good coffee. Oh, I did it right today. But again, regardless of which, if you haven't already, hit the notification bell so you know whenever we post right here on YouTube, you can catch every single event that we host right here on this show, as well as be sure to share the show with everybody that you know so that we can go on and keep on building up this empire together. All with you and your support, we can make this possible. But we can't do it without you. Viewers like you make this show what it is, and we appreciate it oh so much. And if you can support and want to give to the show while we're getting in the process of monetization, Cash App and PayPal, links down below in the description. Whatever you can give, whatever you can support, we would appreciate it oh so much. Helps us to keep the lights on, helps us to pay the bills, and helps us to be able to have this show become bigger and better, more equipment, lights, camera, action, whatever way we can make it happen, all with you helping to help us become the best thing that we can be. Because we're already the hottest show in all the globe right here on YouTube and on every podcasting platform. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. You can listen to us wherever you want, on Apple, on Spotify, and wherever you listen to your podcast. And if we're not on your favorite platform, tell us and we'll get there. No question about it. But with all that being said, hey, we got ourselves a phenomenal show. We got a bunch of stuff to talk about, and we have not a whole lot of time to do it. So without further ado, hey, it's time for us to do what we do best. We got sports to talk about. We got boxing cover first and foremost. So it is time to step into the ring. Oh yeah! Let's get it started. Ring the bell. Round one. Let's get this show underway. And before we do, actually, we can go and do the first topic right now. Versions of Canelo is going to be the first thing that we discuss in terms of the question, which Canelo will we see on the night of the fight? Now, we've talked about this previously, absolutely. But there is one version that I haven't got to discuss on yet, and it's a fight that I honestly have overlooked because of who was involved in the opposition's production going against Canelo. Kind of clouded what I saw with that fight going into this fight with Crawford. But there is still, with this specific version, a real big threat level. You know, if it bodes true, we could see some monumental damage put on Terence Crawford on the 13th. And it could be potentially pretty bad. But again, we're going to talk about that. But before I get into that, real quick, understand, I needed to give y'all a date of when that breakdown's coming for Crawford versus Canelo. And yes, full disclosure, it's not coming today. Like I said, when I do these breakdowns, when I do these predictions, these full-blown, I'm talking about like what I used to do, I still do it now. But in terms of when I used to do before I went live, having a full-blown whole episode dedicated to just one fight show, one fight breakdown, predictions and all, intricate details and all that stuff. Want to make sure I'm thorough. Want to make sure I'm right. So we're going back into that mode. So it's going to be ready for you all on, no, wrong button. Wait a minute. Yeah, there we go. It's gonna be ready for you all on tomorrow. That's right. It's still gonna be the championship rounds like we normally do, but tomorrow, the full breakdown and prediction and all of its glory and detail for what I feel is gonna happen on the night is coming to you on this channel. We're still gonna do championship rounds right after, but we're gonna do that first, and then we're gonna jump into championship rounds where y'all can have at it and do whatever y'all want. So to be clear, the breakdown for this Crawford versus Canelo fight is coming tomorrow. Tomorrow. This is only a day away, in the words of Annie. But it's coming. And when it gets here, you aren't going to want to miss what we got in store, because it is, I'm telling you, it's going to be phenomenal. It's going to be incredible. It's going to be a can't miss type of event. And if you do miss it, hey, I don't want to say I told you so, but I promise you this, it's going to be something where if you miss that, you're going to miss out on a whole bunch of dialogue. I promise you that. Because knowing people in this chat, they will go end over end and absolutely fiend for whether they agree or disagree with what I gotta say on the day. And so trust me, if you want to be part of that action, hey, just come through and hey, be a part of the show. And I guarantee you, you'll be able to see everything that we got. Also, Al Booga, what's going on with you? How you doing? Good to see you. Thank you so much for tuning into the show. We're so glad that you're with us on there. Thank you for joining the live. Thank you for joining the show. Thank you for coming through and having your day with us. I can't wait to just go. Oh, you might agree. You might, wait a minute, hold on. It might not be all doom and gloom. You might. You might agree with what I got to say. Like I said, we've been teasing tidbits of the breakdown all throughout the show, your individual talking points as we've gone through with Canelo and Crawford, where it's been a whole bunch of stuff that we've discussed. And I promise you, all that's going to be taken into account. It's going to be, but hey, you could just be like, I'm on the right track. You could think, you know what, if I was a betting man, I would use this man's intellect and knowledge. Now, I will say, hold on, since we're a little bit off topic, let's switch to the title card. Never go into the real thing of the show. For disclaimer, I will say, not to toot my own horn, I got a pretty decent track record when it comes to calling these big fights. Hey, I'm not gonna lie. I got a pretty decent record. Not decent, it's pretty good. Calling these fights even down to the round. Now, I'm not saying I'm somebody great. Please, Lord knows, don't say that. I am not somebody that is just the greatest thing since sliced bread. Lord knows I'm not. But all I know is that I know what I know. And since I know what I know what I say. And I say what I mean. So, I'm telling you, you might want to, if you don't believe me, go back and look at my other fights that I've called. Go back and look at it. You can go through the channel. The channel is a track record of literally my valid or invalid expertise in this whole sports saga. So hey, if you don't believe that I know what I know, just go down the line. Hey, look at my record. Hey, go watch my work and see what I got, and let that tell you whether I know what I know. But I'm gonna just give you a full disclaimer. I've been pretty good on this stuff. I've been pretty decent picking some of these fights. I'm not saying I'm going to get this one right, but I'm going to be fairly confident. Like y'all said, I've been going with Canelo just about all this time. And because it's as much as I know, Crawford, hey, it's going to be a tough time for that brother to win. But I'm telling you, whoever I pick for this fight is, hey, I know what I'm talking about. Crawford or Canelo, I don't care who. I'm telling you, one, I want to see a good fight. And two, whoever I pick, it's leaning towards Canelo. Just as of right now. But, excuse me, as I've been telling you all this time, it's been leaning towards Canelo. So probably going to be Canelo by the time the thing comes. But still, switching picks, don't switch picks. Canelo, Crawford, draw, don't matter. Better take caution. I know what I'm saying. I know what I'm talking about. But again, with all that being said, no, this is pat myself on the back of the side. Getting all big-headed. Let's get back down to earth. Let's do what we do best. And let's now fully jump into the world of this topic with Canelo versus Crawford. Yes, sir. And more specifically, the versions of Canelo what we need to talk about with this show, at least with this particular topic, is a question we talked about, I think, a couple months ago. Which Canelo is going to show up? More specifically, is there a version of Canelo that we missed? We might need to actually look a little bit deeper into. You might have overlooked. Now, again, we understand fully right now. Let's jump into it right now. We know for a fact he's nowhere close to what he was at 154. Hey, we can shoot that in the foot. That ain't happening. That Canelo is not coming back. That Canelo is not coming back. The Canelo at 160, who else fighting Gennady Golovkin? Most likely that Canelo is not coming back. It ain't. Almost assured. Almost assured. That Canelo is also never to be seen again. The early days of 168, Billy Joe Saunders, most likely even that version of Canelo, with just the age and the process of time, and what it's done to Canelo with his style and what he is as a fighter, who is still in his prime, but at the tail end, hey, most likely even that Canelo is not going to show up in this fight, or at least not as fervently as we might want to. He could get back to that version of Canelo, hypothetically. But would it actually be a consistent thing? I'm not sure. I don't know. So for now, I'm going to put that on the back burner and say that version of Canelo is not coming back. So which version of Canelo will we most likely see? Well, it most likely be the Canelo that we see against Caleb Plant, the one that was getting outboxed at first, and then coming through and being able to create a game plan, digging downstairs to the body, going through, using his strength and size to walk him down, and then ultimately, boom, knock him out. That version of Canelo we could see. Now, that version of Canelo was getting beat, though, again, Caleb Plant is a mover, doesn't like mover, just like with Trout, just like with Lara, understandably so. So we get that. And Crawford, again, as a boxer, is a savant, so we can do that same thing. But as a version of a fighter, I could see any version of Canelo versus Plant onward be the Canelo that we show or that we see show up in this fight. Could be the Canelo versus Munguia. Could be the Canelo versus John Ryder. Which, again, John Ryder won. Looked good at the start. Ain't look nearly as good at the end. Munguia won. Went to war with a young lion. Again, won the fight, could have knocked him out, but didn't. And was more so a learning experience for Munguia, carried him, and could have ended the show in rounds 9 through 11. But, didn't want to. He said it himself. I understand. Then you got the Canelo versus Charlo. Then you got the Canelo versus Skull. And then you got the Canelo versus Malika. Boom. Any of those versions I could see showing up in this fight. Because, again, the biggest question with Canelo, we don't know. Though he's driven, though he's dedicated and all that stuff, all the gripes and all of the critiques have been valid for Canelo right now. What he's lost, what he isn't using anymore, his technical ability, his mind is still there, don't get me wrong, but what the body can do is not the same. We just see it. We feel it. We witness it every time out. Even in every fight, I've even said, hey, wow, I keep forgetting how fast Canelo's hands are. That's still well and good. That's still well and true. But beyond that, or after that, usage in which he fights is just not the same. It just ain't. Again, it's not bad. It's just the truth of the matter. So that's why, part of the reason why this fight is so enticing, engaging. Has everybody on pins and needles. Has the world looking at this fight as a potential, come on, there we go, as a potential upset to happen. Because we see that there is a wide gap of Canelos, a multiverse of Canelos that we could see that come up on this fight. We could see multiple Canelos show up in this fight by the time it's all well and good. Different versions at different aspects, depending on how the ebbs and flows of the fight turn. We could see Canelo versus Bivol show up. Hypothetically, and that would mean that Crawford's getting the upper hand if that was the Canelo that did show up. Or that at some point in time became apparent as, oh, this is eerily similar to that. Because the fight's going this type of way. It could happen. Also, almost missed the chat. Hold on. Mike Hutcho. Hey, what's going on, brother? How you doing? Good to, gosh, I almost hit the mic. How you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning into the show. We appreciate your time, your effort, your energy, and you being here on us or with us live right here to discuss the world of Canelo Crawford. Again, we got Inoue, we got a bunch of other stuff that we're going to discuss. Football as well, championship rounds, Cowboys and Eagles, they happening today, 8:30. So, hey, if you live in the States and you are a fan, Cowboys fan, I'm praying for you. Eagles fan, hey, will you repeat? I don't know. We're going to see what happens. Regardless of which, hot vibe, we can't wait to see it. But again, digress. The version of Canelo that I didn't look at as fervently is the version of Canelo versus Charlo. Now, I understand what you're saying.
Hey,
what do you mean? Why would you look at that? What's the issue? What is the point of looking at that fight, of all fights, as a potential fight that could set up the makeup for this fight with Crawford? Like, set up the DNA, the blueprint, the antithesis, the roadmap. Not antithesis, that's the wrong word. Roadmap, that's the right word. Roadmap for how exactly we can see Canelo go about this thing. Well, we have said countless times before, hey, that fight with Canelo versus Charlo was abysmal. Oh, it was horrible. Oh, it was terrible. It was absolutely diabolical to witness and watch. No question about it. It was one of the worst performances we had ever seen. From the standpoint of Charlo. Lay down and died. Didn't try to fight. Didn't try to go through. Didn't try to push the pedal to the metal. Didn't do anything. And I mean anything. Anything of note. To actually make it so that this fight would go true or go unexpected. Didn't try to adapt. Felt the power once and then walked away. Didn't try to throw nearly as much. Was very much conservative. Yes, Canelo was doing his thing, sure, but the adaptations or the lack of effort from the side of Charlo in the face of monumental danger was indeed horrible, was indeed laughable, has indeed brought the stock of him and his brother down, or at least it brought it down for a number of years. Hate to say it, but that fight affected both of them from the standpoint of their cachet in the eyes of the boxing public. It's not even, and again, it's not even the other brother's fault. It's not even Jamal's fault. He was dealing with personal issues as well. We understand that completely. But just off the backs of them being so tied at the hip, both of them being seen as lions and both of them, again, talking the way they talk, it hurt. It hurt the way to both of them. Now we see Jamal came back, won to see him at 168 or 160 against Shannon back, whichever one happens, love to see it. Or, and Charlo, just now coming back. So, hey, we'll see what happens there. But regardless of which, in this fight, though Charlo was absolutely despicable in every regard, Canelo and what he did in that fight, his performance, ironically enough, was overlooked. And as we go into, well, actually, before I do, let me make sure I actually got it pulled up correctly, so we ain't wasting time. As I went back and watched that fight, because I saw something on Twitter that gave me kind of a point in time to look back and take some time and really reflect, not just on the fight, but on that particular performance. What exactly did we see, and what exactly was the come on, this should be it, right? Is this it? Oh, wait a minute. Don't play with me now. Don't play. Let me make sure I actually got the. It's not it. The world's going on. Wait a minute. I'm trying to get the There we go. Okay, there we go. Yep. I don't know why I had my pen was wrong, but either way, we're back. Picture in picture. As we're going through, and again, to be clear, I don't own the rights to this footage. I don't own the rights to any of this. Like I said, this is owned by BBC. Whoever will put on this thing, this is not my footage. However, as we're looking back at this fight, looking at how Canelo was moving in this fight, honestly, because the performance of Charlo overshadowed what I was seeing with Canelo and how he went about walking and stalking against Charlo. 2&D shut down a lot of his stuff, as we can see right here. If you're to play, very interesting fight. All of a sudden, you got a fight that, hey, it's more than apparent why we would see the likes of Canelo be looked at as the favorite because of stuff like that. Again, what I didn't notice was that Canelo was doing a lot of the small stuff that, in all honesty, I wasn't seeing in most of his other fights. Like with Berlanga, like with Ryder, like with the likes of Skull, even Munguia. It's like I just wasn't seeing it. So now, it's like, well, shoot, my gosh. This fight, if that Canelo shows up, though, again, it is beatable, but that would be, honestly, that would be the best case scenario, at least from my perspective. But let me see what you all got to say on the matter, like with my country. Let me see, my country, what you got to say on today. I think it's the same for Bud. New weight class is now 38. Didn't look like the Bud we seen at 147, as well as the movement wasn't as much at 147. Now you're right. Now, again, granted, Canelo, or not Canelo, I'm sorry. Well, actually, you got one more. We're going to see a Bud we never seen before. Now, I do agree with that as well. And I got a clip that I was going to show y'all about that as well. But to go back to this initial got still eating that waffle. Still got a piece of waffle stuck in my throat. But going back to this particular comment, Crawford has never been a big time mover from the elusive sense. Yes, he has great footwork, no positioning and all that stuff, angles and whatnot. He's got that, no question. I'm not denying that. But in terms of a mover, he's not Caleb Plant. He just ain't. He ain't Trout. He ain't Laura. He ain't even Amir Khan as a movement style fighter. Like we said before, his style in part is predicated on being able to walk you down and beat you up, being able to use that footwork not to be evasive, but to be able to encroach or encroach on your space and encroach on your territory, erode whatever real estate you got. And so, but let me see. Not a mover, but not much wasted movement. Yeah. See, that's a better way to put it. He's not a mover, but he doesn't waste a whole lot of movement. Now, he probably in this fight, he's gonna have to be in some way, shape, or form a real mover, like a legitimate elusive mover in some regard. Unless, again, we just see Bud be able to, hey, I can stand toe to toe. If he can do that and he can take the shots, okay, yeah, you better believe if he feels the power of Canelo and he's able to say, okay, I can take it, I guarantee you it's going to be just like this. No wasted movement, but the brother ain't going to become a mover. He's going to be just like what he been doing. Looking to take away your real estate, looking to be the dominant dog and encroach on what you have and take it over by force. If he can do that, I promise you, he's going to try to do it. It's a big if. Big if. But it's an if that can't happen. Because because again, every single fight, no matter who it's been up against, he's been able to do that in some regard. Even with the likes of Madrimov. Remember, even with that fight with Madrimov, it's not just about, he struggled. That's the biggest telling story. Virgil Ortiz struggled against him as well. And he did. Again, it was still, again, sick or not with Madrimov. Madrimov made Virgil Ortiz made him work hard. He would make most fighters look that way because of how he fights. It's just the truth. It's just the truth. And we saw it because we expected Virgil, he won't have nearly the same issues as we saw Terence Crawford have because he's the same size. He's got He's got a nearly 95% knockout ratio, but it's only 2 fights not by, I think, 2 or 3 fights not by KO. Is at this point in time, statistically, the hardest hitter at 154. What the world is there for us to worry about? Next thing you know, the fight goes 12, and the first 5 rounds went to Majima because of the same issue, the movement and the herky-jerky style. It makes anybody look bad or look lesser than what they are because it's hard to handle. Again, Canelo's not that, so it's going to be a different fight that he fights, guaranteed. But with the main issue with all of this, or not even issue, the main concern with all of this is that when it comes to Terence Crawford versus Canelo, we're looking at a man who he might need to move, but if he can take it, he's going to run. He's going to try to run. He's going to try to work, and not just with the IQ, but with the physicality of, hey, everything that Canelo's been having as a marquee guy or as a marquee dominant force at 167. I guarantee you he believes he can do the same thing. And the fight with Majimov is getting a lot of people to think that maybe at this weight, he can't handle it. He won't be able to be the same guy. And the dog that we know that's there is no longer there. Well, to speak on that very instance, let's go to a man who knows him better than anybody else in the sport at this point in time, which is Bowman. Let's see what he had to say on the matter when it comes to the weight discrepancy involved with Canelo versus Crawford. I almost forgot to switch the thing. Hold on. Wait a minute. Hold on. There we go. All right. Yeah, let's see what Bowman had to say on the whole weight disparity issue that's been a prominent thing in the world of boxing. What the world was that? What the world was that? The world? The world? What? Wait, hold on. I'm sorry. No? Okay. All right, never mind. Boy, that scared a mess, boy. Hey,
Hey,
look,
we got some problems here.
I thought
We got some problems here.
I ain't know what fell at all, boy. Woo! I tell you, I'm not saying I'm scared, but I woo, shoot. Oh, that got me. Okay, nothing. I'm sorry. Something fell. Something slipped off. Something slipped off. Off one of my stuff in my room. One of my shelves in my room. Oh shoot. I'm sorry. Let's get back to the topic again. Come on. Let's see what Bomac has. Come on. Let's do what we need to do. Let's see what Bomac has to say on the matter when it comes to the weight disparity between Crawford and Canelo.
Transformation, instead of cutting down to 47 or 54, to just be coming down to 68, which seems more of his natural weight.
Man, listen, let me tell you, man, he should have been at 68 a long time ago, but, you know, myself, just make him take advantage of 35, 40, 47. If you can make it, let's make it. After he accomplished everything they didn't accomplish, you can't be mad at him when he say, hey man, fuck that shit, man. I'm gonna fight Canelo at 168. When he naturally walk around big any goddamn way.
Transformation, instead of cutting down to 47.
So hey, wait a minute now. Hold on a second. So apparently, this weight cut that we did, this weight discrepancy that we have with the likes of Canelo is more so, might not be as big of a deal as we may have expected. Hey, hold on now. Wait a second. Wait a minute. And again, mind you, we're going to find out if this is true on fight night. I completely understand that. We're going to find out how true and valid this is on the day of the fight. No question about it. But if what Bomac is saying is true, and this brother should have been at 168 a long time ago, and it was just, hey, if you can make the weight, okay, we'll keep on making the weight. What if we see, hypothetically, that regardless of which version of Canelo does indeed show up, whether it's the one that did show up against Charlo or the one that showed up against Bebo, whichever one it was, anything between that or the one that showed up against Caleb Plant, anything in between those versions of Canelo, regardless of who shows up, if we do in fact have the notion or the reality set in that we see that Crawford isn't small for this fight in this weight class, and actually, hey, the physical disadvantage is not a disadvantage. This could be, we got ourselves the makings of a real blown upset. We got ourselves, this could change everything. This is really good. Now, we touched on it before from the mindset of, hey, Crawford's one of the most physically gifted athletes we have in boxing. More arguably in most of sports. Deadlift 400, at that point in time at 154, has been ridiculously strong throughout his entire career, has been able to manhandle the likes of Joe Miller and other bigger guys, wrestlers as well. He's a freak athlete, genuine freak athlete. But again, that was at that size. And it seemed like it was making it comfortable. So, okay, yeah, naturally, he's 147. No issue making weight there. Seemed that same size the whole time. No issue. If this does, and coming up to 168, we were saying his physicality can be able to upgrade to that length, upgrade to that threshold, and be potentially just fine. From the standpoint of that's what he is pushing his body that far, but he can handle it going that far. But now what Bomac is saying is true, and this man actually, this ain't as far as he can push his body. This is just, again, to quote Superman from Justice League, one of the few opportunities that I can really cut loose and go full all out and just let my full breath of strength, let my full breath of physicality just not be restrained by a weight class, but just go up. Now, all of a sudden, we're going from, hey, is he pushing himself to be that? To, this brother might just look just fine once he gets to 168. He could be more comfortable. And in fact, I think he said it himself on a different interview. If I can pull it up right here for you all to listen to and witness, I believe Terence Crawford talked about it himself on this very show. Not this show. Hopefully we can get him on someday, somehow. But on a interview, come on. It should be, hold on, wait a minute. Hold on, I'm going to find it. Because it's important. It's an important thing that I need to bring up. I'm just trying to figure out why it is not saved. Where's it? Is it? Let me make sure this is it. What was the clip? It should be here. Here we go. Okay, here we go. There you go. Okay, so got it now. I got it. I had to make sure I was there, but I got it now. Now again, this is Netflix putting out a promotional video in regards to the big upcoming fight on September 13th. And in lieu of this trailer, something very interesting got brought up by Terence Crawford.
Accomplishment for Crawford.
Putting on muscle don't actually mean that you're gonna be slower, but you punch a little harder.
He is willing to take a risk. This is literally uncharted territory for Terence Crawford.
That right there, the specifics right here. Good. I want to make sure I got his voice right. No, a little bit for the back. A little bit for the back.
Putting on muscle don't actually mean that you're gonna be slower.
That right there. That's where most of the concern has been for Crawford. You jump this high in weight. you could compromise most of the stuff that you got as what makes you you. As we touched on this show multiple times before. Again, bringing up Roy Jones Jr. as a prime example. Though with him, it was more so moving back down was the thing that caused him to go awry. But Canelo, the brother he's fighting, we can use him as the same example. When that brother went and moved up to 175 for the second time, what happened? The brother lost some speed. When he moved up against Kovalev, he was able to do it just fine. Second time when he fought against Bivol, what happened? Was slower, was more lethargic. Hand speed wasn't the same. Gas tank was winded to Kingdom Come. Brother couldn't take on the offensive onslaught and be able to counteract. He was more so, he essentially, I don't want to say he capitulated, but more or less, the main game plan was just trying to cause Bivol to make a mistake by sitting on the ropes. Because he was like, I gotta go something out of him because I can't catch him. And I can't fight going forward with him because it's so taxing on me. And he's beat me up to Kingdom Come. And what I'm doing ain't working. So yeah, it affected him. Now for Crawford, we've been saying that could be a possibility. But couple the words of Bomac with what this statement is from Terence Crawford. Now we got to picture up, hey, this could be a situation where now we're looking at a Crawford who, in all honesty, though again it's a big ask, it's a huge ask of Terence Crawford, it's still a viable thing. That maybe we could see the same thing that we've been saying about Boots Ennis happen with Terence Crawford. Hypothetically. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm not saying it's likely. I am not saying it's even valid that to look at it this way from the standpoint of, yeah, put all your chips in a basket. But you remember we were saying about how Boots is a fighter that as he matures, grows, and goes up in weight higher and higher, with his aspirations of becoming undisputed in multiple weight classes, from 154 to 160 to 168 to 175, however many weight classes he said that he put out on Twitter that he wanted to go and achieve. If that is the goal for Boots, it was the bigger he gets, we have a real good inclination, the better he's going to get as well. Because as he unlocks new avenues in physical peaks, as he lets his body more and more fill out with every weight class, we're going to see a better version of physical dominance and athletic ability get unlocked as well, on top of the just natural fighting instincts that he has at his disposal. So the bigger he gets, the better he's going to get. That's what for a lot of people, the feeling, the conclusion, the real hope, not even hope, the real almost perceived timeline as to how we're going to see Boots grow as a fighter. Crawford could be that same way. Crawford could be that same way. Crawford could be the same brother that is able to come up, gain weight, and it doesn't compromise him as a fighter. Because again, Bomac said he walks around way bigger than this. Cutting weight only to 168 is something that's like, hey, that for them, that seems to be a threshold they've been waiting on. And so now, might not be that he's going to struggle. Might not be that he's too big. Might not be at all that this brother's going to be too bulked up to be able to be everything that he's been his entire career. If anything, it could potentially maximize everything he is to an even better degree. Because we also have to understand, let's say hypothetically speed is the same, and everything else about Crawford is the same. What Crawford said in that interview also is true. That power is going to hit a little different. Do we not forget that this brother is 41-0 with, I think, 30 knockouts in his career. If I got that right, let me fact check that to make sure. Let me fact check that to make sure. But I believe he's 41-0 with 30 and or 31 knockouts in his career. Yeah, 41 wins, 31 knockouts. This man was on a 12-fight, I believe it was a 12-fight knockout, 11 to 12-fight knockout streak at one point in time in welterweight. I don't think there wasn't. No, I'm wrong. I'm sorry. I apologize. This brother went Started knocking out Thomas DeLore all the way up until good gosh. Shoot. Yeah. It was Thomas DeLore to Errol Spence. He knocked everybody out. Welterweight. 140 from 140 to 147. It was I think it was like what? Like what was it, 2017? Oh, 2016 to 17, 18, 19, 20, 22. Yeah, 2016 to 2023. This man, every fight ended by knockout. Or excuse me, except for Post. Except for Post. Outside of Victor Post, every fight from 2015 to 2023, outside of Victor Postal, ended in a knockout. Ridiculous. So we want to do a knockout streak from 2016 to 2023. There was not a fighter in the welterweight division or 140 that did not get knocked out by Crawford. This is that is an uncanny type of power. Look, I don't care how you feel. That's a different type of pop to him. That's something serious. And again, we would call him a precise puncher, a precision puncher. But at the same time, he's also just a strong body. We saw what he did to Kell Brook. Took Spence 9 rounds to knock out Kell Brook, or 10 rounds, however long it was, to stop Kell Brook. But Crawford did it with the combination of a hook jab. I don't know what it was. I think it was a jab. A strong jab as Kell Brook was coming on the inside. But that's the punch that did it. Errol Spence, we ain't got to explain what he did to Errol Spence. Like, this man has some pop already that we've witnessed and seen and have acknowledged. He's not just one of the best boxers in the world, he's also one of the best punchers. That's just the truth. He got names everywhere to show, yeah, that's the truth. I'm telling you, at 168, that same precision, that same level of precise, intricate, dissecting punching power that is also, again, which people don't talk about enough, actively destructive. I don't think that he's as outgunned as we may have thought going into this fight with Canelo. Still unlikely that he's going to knock him out. Be clear. Still very unlikely he's going to knock him out. Very unlikely he's going to stop him. I understand it. It might not even be as likely that he'll hurt him. But in terms of at least the question of gaining respect, at least the question of gaining respect from the likes of Canelo, who has routinely been able to walk through everybody that he's faced with the greatest of ease. No issue, no qualms, no concerns about it. Having the chin of dynamite, of granite, marble, titanium, whatever the word you want to call it. Outside of the fight with Miguel Cotto's brother, has never been wobbled, what I can remember in his career. He's been a model consistency of what it means to take a punch. I'm not saying Crawford's going to hurt him. Not at all. But I am saying that if we want to answer, can he get Crawford's respect? Based on what we're, again, all evidence now, and doing more work looking back on what he was and what he's bringing himself up to, I'm telling you, that ain't getting Crawford's respect. Might be more in line of a possibility than we think. And if he can get his respect, all of a sudden you won't have to battle. You get Canelo's, if you can get Canelo's respect, you won't have to, boy, you've gotten halfway to the game plan to beat him. Not because, he's going to wilt if he's got to respect you. No. But all of a sudden, just like with any fighter, you make them have to think about what you got going on. Now you have options that he has to not just be aware of, but has to actively be cautious of in some regard. And not just tentatively, be smart, be safe. We're talking about, a game plan that can actually work. He's got to be, hey, I can't take too many of these. I can't No, it does stink. I can't just go in and this is nothing to me. You make a fighter respect you. It's just about half the battle. Other battles is game plan implementing, but making it so that they gotta acknowledge what you are, what you bring to the ring, beyond just, oh, you're a fighter, but understanding there is a level of danger. You see what it can do for people. Roller and Merrill, it gave Tank a real tough time. Him having to respect him. Roller and Merrill versus Ryan Garcia, it gave him a real tough time because it made him have to respect what Rolly brought to the ring after that knockdown. All of a sudden, very tentative. Ryan Garcia wasn't throwing nearly the same. And the confidence of Rolly grew because he saw there was a change, a glint in the eye of Ryan Garcia showing him, hey, I'm doing something. He knows what I am now. And he's got to actually be aware of it instead of just thinking he can just walk through and do whatever. That is vital. That's crucial. That is incredibly important. And that is so necessary. That's so necessary to make it so that you can be sure that you are in line to actually win. Because you make them think, hesitate, and force you not to be active and aware, but forced to have that in the back of his mind. Okay, this is something more than I thought. That's a real game plan. Not just a game plan. That's a real opportunity for you to take over or for you to start building on the building blocks of success and create a tower of power, literally, as the fight goes on, to help you succeed. Because now, with that respect, you've garnered some room to build upon something. With that respect in the fighter, you garnered some room to, okay, boom, I got some leeway. I got a plot of land now. I got a plot of land in his mind. I have a section that I've forced my way to get to, excuse me. So now I can start building up the foundation of I need to do this. And I don't got to worry about will he let me because he already respects me. Once you respect me, you give me room to build. And when that happens with Crawford, if that happens with Crawford, not when, if, it could not happen, but if it does, all of a sudden that's where stuff gets interesting. That's what let me see. What you got? Let me see. Awakening Astral, what's going on, brother? Ascending. Yeah. I'm gonna call you AAA. Ascended Awakening Astral. I'm not gonna lie, AAA. That's a shoot. That's a dope nickname. Just for the sake of ease, or for the sake of for the sake of time, I just call you AAA. And plus, that's a clean name. I ain't gonna lie. But anyway, how you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning into the show. Ascended Awakening. Appreciate you joining on the live. If you like what you're hearing, hey, leave a like on the stream. Keep on commenting your thoughts and opinions. I do want to hear from you. I'm giving my thoughts and all that stuff. But again, this is you all's show as well. We want to hear your reactions, your thoughts on what I say, how you feel. We want to get from your perspective anything. Do you think I'm wrong? You think I'm right? Do you think that this is all just poppycock? Whatever they say over in the, I think they say that. I think they said that over in the UK. I don't know. I heard it on, what was it? Was it Shitty Bang Bang? That old Disney movie with Dick Van Dyke? It was either that or Mary Poppins. One of the two. Some movie back in the day. I heard it and it stuck with me. But regardless of which, we're here and I want to hear what you all got to say on this whole matter when it comes to this fight. But again, let me see what you bug. Keep on liking the stream. Keep on subscribing and keep on sharing. And if you want to support the channel, while we don't got monetization yet, hey, Cash App and PayPal, links down below. I know some of y'all want to do super chats. I know we're trying to get there. We're working. Trust me. Trying to get everything in line on the back end. We're working to get it. And when we do, it's going to be apparent. But hey, we're here for it. And we just want to hear from you all. And as this channel grows, your support is all well and good. And we appreciate it oh so much. But again, that's like we going through, see what you all got to say. Let me see. Love King, also you here. Hey, brother. What's going on? How you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning into the show. We're so glad that you're with us on today. Fight 9 days until the fight. Let's go. I'm telling you, we are less than 2 weeks away from one of the most incredible, impactful, non-stop action events of the night. Now, I will say the undercard might not look that good, but I tell you what, though, that whole weekend from the 13th to the 14th with Crawford and Canelo, Inoue versus Akhmadaliev at 4 in the morning as well, is gonna be spectacular. It's gonna be spectacular. At least I can guarantee you, at least one of those fights is going to live up to the hype. At least one of them. Leading towards MJ versus Akhmadaliev as would most likely be the better fight, but regardless of which, we guaranteed at least one fight that's going to be worth the whole stay. Save your food, save your drinks, and get some sleep as much as you can, because, brother, after 9 o'clock when that main card hits, it's on and popping. We ain't sleeping. We stand up all the way to, 10 in the morning, 11 in the morning. I don't care when. We're going to see both fights, and it's going to be phenomenal. But let me keep on reading what you all got to say. I mean, love the energy, my bro. And I don't care if you're wrong or right. Let's just enjoy the fight. Hey, look, I'm with you. I'm with you there. I'm with you there. I'm with you there. I have been. See, here's the thing. We just need this fight to happen. You got to understand, we need this fight to happen because we have been waiting so long for a monumental type of thing to occur in the world of boxing. Now, yes, we had Usyk and Fury. That was incredible, monumental. But in terms of, again, we've had Hagler Hearns, Leonard Hearns, Leonard Hagler, Duran and Leonard, all those legendary fights of people doing ridiculous stuff to move up and challenge some of the greats. Every era had that in some regard. Again, Ali fought Bob Foster, one of the greatest light heavyweights in the world, going up against the greatest heavyweight in the world. But that was a monster clash. That was like, what do you thought? Bob Foster was outgunned or not? That was a monster clash. That was a big deal. That was a huge deal. Evander from cruiserweight to heavyweight, again, fighting Tyson, huge deal. From the standpoint of these mega fights that people may call it spectacles, but from the standpoint of legit talent versus legit talent with somebody moving up, like again with Leonard and Hagler, we want more of that. Not because, we want a circus. It's not a circus in this regard. This is a real fight. It's a real fight because this isn't a situation where somebody clearly is not on somebody's level in both weight and skill. And so, yeah, you ain't got no business being in the ring because you showed up ain't that good. Charlo versus Canelo. This ain't that. This is not that at all, which is why this is so impactful. And again, some people have been vocally against these types of fights. I'm for them, again, with the caveat of both of them are on the level of a playing field of respect that we acknowledge, okay, yeah, they are indeed that good, each of them. And so it's not impossible that one can cause an upset to the other because of their talent outweighs the disadvantage in a way that they would have. That's why I'm all for it. That's exactly why I'm all for it. But let me say, but I appreciate you liking the show, loving the energy. And we can't wait to see Crawford TKO 10-12. That's what you got. Hey, buddy, AAA, that's what you got. Crawford 10-12 KO. That's gonna be insane. I'm telling you, look. If I've said that if Crawford wins, he's gonna be in my top 10 all time. Almost assuredly, he's gonna be my top 10. He's gonna be my top 10 if he knocks him out, though. If he knocks out Canelo, do you understand how insane that would be? Just the win itself would be spectacular. If he went and stopped at this point in time the greatest shin we've seen in boxing outside of Gennady Golovkin in the modern day of boxing, has been touted as one of the best chins of all time, only been wobbled once early when he was young, never again got caught and hurt, going up against some of the heaviest hitters we've seen in the modern day. Kovalev, Gennady Golovkin, Kirkland, whatever other heavy puncher you want to say that couldn't do nothing with him. Cotto, don't matter. You say he puts him out at 168? Whew. Whew. Gosh, that would be, the conversations would get disrespectful. If that happened, conversations would get so disrespectful. But in all honesty, there might not be disrespectful if he attempts that, if he does something that great and that destructive against, again, one of the most titanium bearded men we've seen in boxing today. In history, I'm being completely honest. That would be ridiculous. That would be insane. Phenomenal. Love King, hit the like button. Yes, please hit the like button. Hopefully you're enjoying the show. Hopefully keep on liking and share the show. Share it with anybody that you can. Tell people about this channel to make them want to come in and see what we got going on. Oh, we're a boxing channel, absolutely. But we do more than that, and we want to see them on for the ride. They're gonna love it. Well, we do it proper over here, and I think they'll enjoy it. But let me see. Nerd, what's going on with you? How you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning into the show. Canelo by stoppage or 9-3 by decision. You think it's either gonna be a knockout or a very handy decision by Canelo that he just dominates the fight? That could happen. I'm not gonna lie, that could happen. That definitely could happen. I'm interested to see how Crawford can take the shots to the body, even with this again added muscle. Now again, we played a clip saying that Bomac was saying that Crawford should be at 168 already. But if you can make the weight, Bomac was like, hey, we'll keep on making the weight. But you should have been up here a long time ago. And now, since that's the case, again, we're going to find out whether that's the case on fight night. But regardless of which, if this man has actually been like this should be his main weight class, and it shows up and shows out, and it's apparent, that'll be insane. That'll be ridiculous. Anyway, finally, he's fighting a live body. Now, he's fought live people before. Be clear. Ji Jun Kim was going to fight Sam Goodman, but Goodman pulled out yet again because of injury. Okay, that happened. Not even fight. I think he had former Cardenas was a live body. MJ is a live body. Donaire both times was a live body when he fought him, because off the back of that rematch, we thought it was going to be something incredible. But it takes him out in 2 rounds. He has been doing great work. 7-14 was a live body. So it's been live bodies all the time. People have been saying that he's been ducking MJ. That's a bold-faced lie. I don't know who's been saying that or why. That's a lie. That's a dead lie. It's like people saying he was ducking Casemiro. That's just not true. Because what he was doing in his career, going after belts and defending the best available. And most of the time, the best available either got hurt or if they stepped in the ring with him, he beat him. And he will fight the next best available guy. So he ain't been ducking no smoke. I can tell you that right now. But again, I'm excited for the fight with Ahmed Ali. I can't wait for it. And we're gonna do a breakdown. I think we're gonna do a breakdown on that. No, not I think. I know. Next week, we're doing a breakdown on that fight. This week is all Canelo Crawford. Next week, we're talking about Inoue. We're gonna get that out of the way. We're gonna capitalize on the momentum that Crawford's gonna bring. So we're gonna get that. We're gonna get that done this week. Get the clips out and all. And then we're going to go through. And then afterwards, we're going to go through. And we're going to do some real stuff in the form of clipping, tidbits, plot points, cutting stuff up. And then we're going to do Inoue next weekend. Or not next weekend, next week. Probably Tuesday. And have everything out for everybody to see. So it's going to be fun, absolutely. Let me see. Canelo can gas out by 9th. Crawford can make him work hard. Yes, he can. That's been another big thing. That's been another huge thing in the realm of this fight. The gas tank of Canelo. What will it be like on this night? Because there has been a question as he's gotten later and later in his career. As we've seen, I'm not saying he's going to just be dead in the water. It's not going to be as bad as it was against Bevo when he moved up into 175 for a second time and his body just couldn't handle that. But from the standpoint of being active or being able to go late and go hard at the same rate, to a degree, somewhat diminished. Is it just diminished enough that Crawford can take advantage of it? That's going to be a question. Let me see. Wilder versus Usyk, for instance. Yep, that is a good instance to bring up as well. Speaking of which, Wilder is getting ready to fight, hypothetically going to fight Francis Ngannou, which is going to be very interesting. Wilder's probably going to win that. Because if AJ can knock you out like he did with just a straight right hand alone, I guarantee, brother, I promise you, if there's one thing Deontay Wilder knows how to do, with all the faults that he's got, if you don't know how to get away from that right hand, he will land that right hand. I guarantee you about that. And that's gonna be and I got Wilder in that one. I'll guarantee you I got Wilder in that one. Let me see. Has Canelo got, let me see, asking in the chat, but I think it's a good thing to bring up. Has Canelo got out at 168? Furthermore, Canelo will be putting hands on Bud but by the time round 9 comes, Bud will be fighting for his life. For dear life, excuse me. Canelo stamina go on the same gas out since he got up. Can beat it all. Bud has IQ level Floyd. Has IQ like Floyd. Hit harder. Been training correctly for a year. So, okay. So, again, all these are great points. All these are good points. Now, let's address the IQ situation. Crawford's is not as smart as Floyd Mayweather. That's just the bold-faced truth. That's not a shot. That's just a fact. He's not as smart. Trust me. If it was, I would be saying he was on that level. He ain't on that level. He's incredibly intelligent, absolutely. Incredibly smart, incredibly adaptive. Usyk even touts the mind of Terence Crawford. Let me bring this clip right here. And I think he said this, was it a month ago? Not a month ago. Months ago. In regards to the mental makeup of one Terence Crawford. I'm
Terence
sorry.
Crawford.
It was 3 months ago. Let me play it for you right here, right now, to give you insight from the current undisputed heavyweight champion of the world.
Yeah. How do you see that fight? Who do you
like Terence. It's
Wow.
my friend, but it's crazy, man. Listen, I say Terence win. Yes.
What? Terence win over Canelo.
Terence win. But listen, Terence, it's different, man. Terence work in две стойка.
Two sides.
Two sides.
Right.
And
And
right,
switch hitter.
yes,
Switch
yes,
hitter. Yes.
right and left. But it's very smart, man. It's very, very, very smart. But feel distance and place like
Adjustment. Canelo.
So that right there shows you the intellect of what we're dealing with when it comes to Terence Crawford. Now again, he's still incredibly smart, and I can truly believe, and I do, that he's not as smart as Floyd. But the IQ is indeed ridiculous and insane. I've said he's a smarter fighter than Canelo, but even still, Canelo's intellect on his own is also incredibly intelligent, because you don't get to 175 by just being a powerhouse. You don't. You shouldn't. Crawford's the same size as, Canelo's the same size as Crawford. Canelo's smaller than Boots from a height perspective and a reach perspective. And he's been able to go and knock out Kovalev, compete with Bivol, and put up a respectable performance. Again, he got beat, but he put up a respectable performance that most people coming up in weight against him would not be able to put up. It's just the truth. And you saw again as the smaller height fighter, who, again, Charlo, being the bigger fighter from the standpoint of height, was still just not able to do anything. Fighting Smith and others and being able to be this destructive, it's not just because, he's just dumb strong. The man legitimately is an incredible intellect. But Crawford, I feel, is smarter, though he's not as smart as Floyd. But that IQ is genuinely one of the best aspects as to why we see this fight with Canelo be such a fervent back and forth for a lot of people. Because the mental game, again, this is Usyk now. If there was anybody that could tell talent and tell the gravitas of what the weight of a thinker can be, it's him. Because let's be honest, this brother has done what Crawford's trying to do now. Usyk beating Fury with a 40-pound weight difference. Usyk was 223, 230 at his heaviest, just about. Fury was sticking 280. No, I'm sorry, I think it was 285. 285 to potentially 290 by the time that fight came about. And still, he was outboxed, outpressured, outmaneuvered, and outworked in every regard. And so I'm like, hey man, the mental game that this fight can be, it is incredible. Don't get me wrong, but it is something that is so. It can go in the way of Crawford. He can't outthink him. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be really hard. But he can absolutely give Canelo all he can handle from the standpoint of being able to outmaneuver and think the game better than anybody may have expected. But again, that's the. It was something else. I think there was something else somebody wanted to say in regards to this. What was it? Hold on. Wait a minute. Oh, and the stamina accusations. The stamina of Canelo was in question with me on the side of the question with stamina from Canelo. Question with stamina from Canelo was for me always a question ever since he fought John Ryder. When I saw him gassing out against John Ryder. When I saw him bleeding heavy against John Ryder in a fight that he was dominating in his hometown. And all of a sudden, John Ryder was able to not just get momentum, but started winning some rounds later on at the end of that fight. And Canelo, his work rate declined. Did. Berlanga was having success later on in the fight with Canelo. And it wasn't as apparent, but the stamina started to dip for Canelo from the standpoint of when it got to those later rounds, all of a sudden, Berlanga had some room to actually do some work. Mind you, this is after the knockdown. Munguia, more so, the pace of the fight was pretty decently high for the whole time, so it showed, okay, yeah, he can still get there. But it's not as consistent of a thing. It ain't. And with this fight, William Skull, though it was a horrible fight on the side of Skull, still, Canelo didn't even attempt to actually push the pace to try to catch him and waste energy. Really trying to take offense to him from a brother who didn't want to be offensive. And it's like, why wouldn't you try to, if somebody isn't, we've seen Inoue push on the gas later on and go in, okay, if you don't want to fight me, I'm going to fight you. I'm going to up my pace to try to get you out there because I can go for days. Canelo could have done that same thing against Skull, but he didn't. Why? Because why waste the energy and potentially get tired trying to catch somebody when I already struggle with movers? So yeah, stamina is a legitimate concern. It's an active problem that can come up in this fight, depending on how this fight goes. And depending on the annoyance that Canelo experiences. Because we've seen multiple times with Canelo, if you fighting in a manner that if he feels like, this ain't a fight, well, all of a sudden he gets frustrated. He gets annoyed. He takes his foot off the gas at times. He's saying, come on. Either playing to the crowd or trying to goad you. But you'll see the demeanor change. You'll see the output change. You'll see his own style shift whenever that annoyance starts to catch up, or not catch up, starts to fester up inside. Because it's like, I don't want to be here. Now he does it, and I'm not saying it's going to happen against Canelo or Crawford, but if that does happen, it's going to be, okay, now that I'm pushed to get to actually, okay, I got to ramp up my stuff. It could be a problem. It could. I'm not saying it's going to, but it could be. It could be. Let's keep reading. If it's not anyway been fighting nothing but killer, yep. Quillas and Yamchas. Wait, Quillas and Yamchas. Wait a minute. Hold on. So, let me ask you this. Who in the world was a good fighter for Inoue to fight if everybody else was a tomato can? That's the thing. Again, love the Dragon Ball reference also. Love that. And hey, hold on. Wait a minute. No, stop the clapping. What did it say? Hold on. Stop out. You ain't gonna disrespect Krillin like that. Hold on now. Wait a minute. You're not gonna disrespect Krillin like that, okay? You ain't gonna do that. Okay. When they were training for the Tournament of Power, Krillin was able to take on Goku at Super Saiyan Blue. And he wasn't just getting bounced out, actively holding his own before ultimately, he got beat. But look now, Krillin ain't no joke. Don't do that. Don't do that now. Don't do that. Look, that bald-headed short brother is a dog. He a dog, boy. He been with the crew since day one. He been fighting Frieza, Piccolo, Nappa, anybody you can think of. Early DBZ, Broly, don't matter. Well, no, I don't think he fought Broly. Did he fight Broly? No, he didn't fight Broly. dealt with Cell, or at least was involved with Cell, has been a GOAT when it comes to providing support. This man, don't disrespect Krillin, okay? The man can fight. He, as a human, that brother's the strongest human in the world. Yeah, he's stronger than Yamcha, and he's stronger than doggone Hercule, Mr. Satan, whatever the word you want to call him, well, depending on which translation you're using. But Hercule, stronger than Hercule, as a human, stronger than Hercule, stronger than Welch, stronger than Yamcha. Ain't nobody touching him on Earth. Okay, let's be clear about it. And he bagged Android 18, got a kid, got a family, and still is rocking with the crew. Piccolo and all of them. Don't disrespect the GOAT, okay? Don't do that now. Okay. We ain't gonna take no slander like that over here. This brother did his job and earned his stripes. Don't do that now. Don't do that. Nah. He a dog. He a dog. He a dog. Don't mess with him like that. Don't play like that. Don't play like that. Let me see. Daryl Anderson, how you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning into the show. So glad you're here with us on today. Let me see. Well, John, MJ is officially out. What happened with MJ? What happened with Ahmed Ali? Hold on. Wait a minute. Hold on. What happened? Hold on. How do we say that name? Hold on. Wait a minute. Hold on. What happened with MJ? Somebody fill me in. I don't know what's going on. I'm trying to cover as much news as I can. I missed something. What happened? Please tell me so I know what's going on. Is he talking smack? Is he going out of pocket? Did he pull out the fight? Did he cheat? What happened? Fill me in so I can see what's going on. Let me see. That's funny. I saw some DBC references this morning about Canelo versus Bud. Canelo was Super Saiyan 1 versus Floyd, but Bud is having Super Saiyan. Fuck. I mean, like that's it's true. Like you're not wrong from the sense of like this isn't a better Canelo. It is a better Canelo. Like you are not wrong about that in the slightest. This isn't need a better Canelo. Now, Super Saiyan 4, I don't know about that. I don't know about Super Saiyan 4. I could see a perfected Super Saiyan 2. Shonen ain't Ultra Instinct. He ain't that. He ain't Super Saiyan Blue. He ain't Super Saiyan Blue. He ain't Super Saiyan God. He ain't Super Saiyan 4. Shonen ain't Super Saiyan 4. Super Saiyan 3, maybe. I'd say more of a perfected Super Saiyan 2. For me. That's still incredible. Well, no, I'd say Super Saiyan 3. Again, Super Saiyan 4, that's more so in a way, that's more so the Usyks. That's more so, that level. But again, Canelo has a talent, though pound for pound, he might have slipped. And he slipped in his prime. He's still great. I'd say more so of Super Saiyan 3. That would be my more fair assumption. But it's still, I'm telling you, it's going to be a test and a challenge for him to be able to take in and really make this fight his own. That's why I'm scared. Crawford's going to have to, I'm not going to lie, Crawford is going to have to turn, Crawford's going to have to be better than he was against Spence. That's all well and good. Against Spence, it seemed like this brother was in Ultra Instinct. Almost. Because there was nothing that Spence could do. And at that point in time, that was the best fight he's ever had. Now, he's never gotten back to that point. Understandable. Now, why is that important? Because in the world of Dragon Ball Z, we've seen instances of Canelo. Like when, of Goku. He was fighting against Beerus the first time. When his body all of a sudden moved back when Beerus came forward, that wasn't just because it was a fluke. That was legit because, hey, it was latent within him. The Ultra Instinct was there, and he could have the capacity to do it, though he didn't know what he was experiencing. Then ultimately, he actually understood it and learned it and actually was able to evolve into it, let it on to him in the power. This Crawford is going to have to be some version of Ultra Instinct. He's going to have to be. Not just from the standpoint of evasive and being able to not get caught with anything. But as a fighter, he's going to have to get to that level to be able to be offensively as dominant as he can be. Because we keep thinking it's not going to be, I guarantee you, just trying to box with Canelo is not going to win this fight for Crawford. It's just not. It's just not. Just boxing and trying to evade the power, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. He's not going to win. He's not going to win like that. Floyd can. Floyd's a different fighter. Crawford is not that type of fighter. And it's not going to work if he does try that. Because, again, this is a better Canelo. He's going to have to bear down and fight with them. He's going to have to. It's not a choice at this point anymore. It has to be a concerted effort that I'm going and we booking it. At some time, I gotta be able to not just take chances, even if they don't hurt. I gotta try to go. I gotta be like that. Because if I just try to box with them, it hasn't worked up until this point, and probably ain't gonna work now. Against everybody else who try to just straight up box, making outside of maybe Bebo and against Floyd. And even Bebo didn't just box him. What did he do? He overwhelmed him. Bebo didn't just box with Canelo. He outworked him. He didn't just stay safe against him and use his great feet and he outworked him. He outworked Canelo and didn't let his offense be overshadowed by the power that Canelo brought to the table with those big swinging shots. He just didn't. That's what Crawford's got to do in some regard. If he doesn't, it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be really, really bad. I guarantee you it's gonna be bad. Let me see. But again, I completely got over the thing. I forgot. How did we even get on that topic? We were talking about Yamcha, Krillin, and Inoue. So now, let me get back to that. Krillin don't disrespect Krillin. Yamcha, hey, great baseball player, can still fight, just ain't on the level of the others. Understand? Okay, cool. He fighting the Vegeta in Akmadali, no problem there. If he knocks him out, great. He better watch out for that hook though. Again, we're gonna talk about it next week, but brother, that Akmadali, that same issue that's come against Neri and come against Cardenas can also come against the likes of Akmadali. Same thing can happen, though you can beat him. Though he does get sloppy at times from the standpoint of Akmadali or MJ. Hey, you better be careful or you're gonna get caught. And it's gonna happen again. And we don't want that to happen again. But again, he's been fighting killers all the time. This is just one of the bigger killers. Wasn't ducking him. Be clear. But if he beats him, what's people gonna say now? Because he already earned respect, understandably so. This is gonna be another notch in the belt, another rhinestone in the accolades, another stone in the gauntlet, per se, of Inoue. And we can see how it goes. Let me see. Now it wasn't respectable. He got blown away, maybe respectable for his ability to take all them punches. Yeah, okay, yeah, I see what you're saying there. I understand. Maybe I might have went too far in that regard. So I understand. Let me see. But again, I don't know what MJ is doing. That's funny. I need to start reading real quick. Hold on, wait a minute. That's funny. That's awesome. Yep. You touched on that. Nerds about right anyway. You gotta look at Inoue's most recent 4 or 5 fights and okay. Cardenas was good. Yi Jun Kim was a replacement. Louis Neri was dangerous. Got banned in Japan. Not just because he was knocking everybody up, but also I think he had something else going on. He was like a villain that was putting people to sleep. Putting people to sleep in that division at 122. And so that was a dangerous fight. And he got knocked down and he got up and we were all saying, hey, brother, that was impressive. We understood the threat level and what he did. So even amongst his last 4 to 5 fights, you can't say that he hasn't been fighting good people. You can't. Outside of people that were replacements, you can't say that he hasn't been fighting at least 2 of the 4 weren't outright killers. And didn't we also touch on, again, this ain't me trying to make excuses, didn't we also touch on it, every fight for every champion isn't going to be a knockdown, drag out brawl or something, oh my gosh, Another one. But we want for the whole of the career, you're going after greatness nearly every time. That's what we can say from Inoue. That's what we've been asking. Even if it doesn't meet your standards of, hey, everybody is a dog to the same top 10 level degree. We acknowledge on this channel that's not going to be the case for a fighter who is accomplishing greatness all the time. We want the majority of those fights to be like that. But it's not going to be like it's especially in the modern day. It's not going to be like that. The only person that's been moving like that has been Inoue or David Benavidez or Usyk or Crawford. And ain't many that's been moving that type of way. And so, again, this is going to be, if he wins this, another notch in the great career. And showing you, hey, yeah, he's still that dog. Which nobody should question. No, nobody should question. So I think I answered that just about from. But again, winning this, great. I just can't wait to see the fight. That's my big thing. I can't wait to see it. That's all I'm waiting on. Inoue said, okay, let me see. Darrell Anderson, you said Inoue said that MJ said that Inoue has been ducking it for 2 years during the press conference. No, he has not. Stop. That's a lie. We've been following this. That's a lie. That is a ball. They said the same thing about Casemiro. They said the same thing about Casemiro as Inoue was going after Undisputed. Said the same thing about him. Don't do that. Don't do that. And guess what? You can't say he's ducking him now because he's fighting. This fight was not hard to make. The brother wasn't hard to find. And he's taking him on. Again, if he loses, he loses. If he wins, he wins. That's neither here nor there. But we got to stop going through the notion that people trying to say that he's ducking people. We got actual ducks that are actively avoiding people. Like, hey, Xander Zayas. Let's be clear. Like Xander Zayas. He could have fought and defended his title against the likes of Virgil Ortiz. That could have happened. Honestly, that fight should have been signed. That was a real deal that got sent to him. I don't know what the word Zayas is talking about, but still, that's a duck. Tank, that's a duck. Fury for a number of years, that's an actual duck when he didn't fight. When he did not fight Usyk. Wilder when he didn't take the over three. I think it was either 100 million or 300 million. One of those two numbers to fight Anthony Joshua for a multi-fight deal, and he didn't take that when it was on the table. Yes, he fought Fury instead. I understand. Turned out to be a great trilogy, but still he could have fought him. He could have gone after him. He really could have. And there was no reason not to. That was the biggest fight we had all been waiting on. This was after the draw. I believe this was after the draw with Fury. But, hey, we don't call that a duck. Though it was because the deal was there. And AJ also had the majority of the belts. I believe he had the majority of the belts at that point in time. And Wilder was still the WBC champ. Because, again, of the draw. But regardless of which, we've had ducks everywhere. This is not a duck. Please, don't let Casemiro fool you. This is not a duck in the slice. But let me keep on reading what you all got to say. For me, Canelo was Super Saiyan 2 and Floyd, Super Saiyan 2 versus Floyd, Super Saiyan 3 versus Bud. Okay, I can see that. Now, I feel more so Super Saiyan 1 is better, but hey, I ain't got no issue with that. Super Saiyan 3 is at the limit. Now is where I see Canelo. If we're going to compare it to Saiyan the same races. I ain't got no problem with that. Let me see. Broadway. Oh, you say Super Saiyan. Also, Broadway. What's going on, brother? Or is it Bravery? How do you say your name? Real quick. Hey, brother. Hey, man. What do you say your name? I've been saying it. Bravery. B-Wave. I don't know, brother. Learn to spell. I'm kidding. Okay, just jokes. I know who's behind the screen with this brother. That's why I can joke with him about it. I do know, dude. Honestly, I don't know how to say your name. And on the thing, I can't lie. Enunciate it for me in the chat if you can. But hey, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you tuned back in. I'm glad you're listening for the ride. And hopefully you leave a like on the stream. And you keep on enjoying the show. Let me see. He's doing what he said not to do. He poking the bell. Yeah, okay. Daryl Anderson, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Yep. You're doggone right. In fact, we can switch gears right now. Hold on. We can switch gears anyway. Anyway, versus MJ next week. Let's switch gears real quick. Let's talk about that fight, shall we? Ahmad Ali's poking your dog. Daryl Anderson, you're doggone right. Ahmad Ali's poking the bear. This about to be in trouble. He about to be in some major trouble. He better watch himself. Or it's going to be bad. It's going to be really bad. It's going to be really bad, man. He can win. Let's be clear. But, brother, don't do this. Don't do it. Don't do this, man. It can get bad in a hot second. We've seen what happened before. We've seen what happened with other people that talk smack. You get put to sleep, and you get embarrassed. It's a dangerous thing, brother. There's certain people you just don't do. You don't poke LeBron. You don't poke Jordan. You don't poke Kobe. You don't poke Terence Crawford. You don't poke Canelo. Regardless of how we may feel, you don't poke Canelo. And you don't poke Inoue. You don't do it. There's a select few names. There's some more as well. But those 6 across the sports world, that's the best I can think of. You don't poke them. Because if you do, you're going to be in trouble. Let me see. Not 3, because he's been holding his own. Not 3, that means he's holding his own against a Majin Buu level boxer. And again, yeah, if Crawford was a natural 160 pounder, that's actually a good question. You're right. You still ain't Super Saiyan. Well, no. I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. You're wrong. I misspoke. You're wrong. No, he is Super Saiyan. Because he's been fighting Buu level competition for the majority of his career. Since he moved up in this division. Mind you, he's started out at 154. This cat should not be. He is smaller than Terence Crawford, yet he has been fighting higher than him. That is Majin Buu level threat. That's Cell level threat. Let's be clear about that. So Super Saiyan 3 is deserved. But beyond that, now you're going to a realm that Canelo just at this point in time doesn't belong. That's just true. Let me see. Anyway, also had 5 sparring partners, but I'm sorry, didn't get his name. No, it was Marlon Tapales and like 4 other people specifically brought in to fight in the style of Cardenas. So, I know what, because I think you brought this up before, and we got to find out on stream, which is great. Thank you for letting us know. We appreciate it so much. But yeah, he like I'm telling you, anyway, better be careful. It's going to be bad. Or, I'm sorry, Ahmad Ali, MJ, better be careful. It's going to be dangerous. It's going to be dangerous. I wish I could play. You know what? I wish I had the rights to the song. There was another song that I wanted to use. In fact, I might just use Darkwing Duck. I'm going to start getting clips from that and add that to the sound. And when I say dangerous, we're going to have people saying, let's get dangerous. We're going to say that. I'm going to have that. I'm going to have that some point in time. I'm going to add that sound to my thing. Hopefully I won't get copyrighted. But hey, regardless of which, let's keep on rolling. Let me see. Just a thought. You think anyone will be looked at like Larry Holmes, where they were great champions, but not the great competition. But all in all, he was a great fighter. See, no, that's a little bit different. See, I don't think so. I don't believe that. And let me just to make sure that I'm gonna get back. Let me answer these other chats. And I'm going to get back to this, because I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think, and it's because the competition, again, is indeed great. It's good for most people. Not saying y'all in the chat, but for most people. The resume of Inoue is disrespected because they don't understand 122. But he has gotten the respect from everybody else in boxing that talks about him, that are indeed at that threshold. Notice, nobody, regardless of weight class, unless you're fighting against him, talks against Inoue. That's it. Anybody above 122 don't say nothing about Inoue. You know why? Because there's nothing to say. Because they understand, yeah, this is that type of dog. Tank don't respect nobody, but he respects Inoue. Crawford is talking about Inoue. Usyk talks about Inoue. Everybody who you bring up his name, there's nothing but, oh yeah, no, that's a bad dude. Not because, oh, they're not in the weight class or there's nothing to talk about. We've seen boxers talk about this brother or talk about other people as, oh no, he's not that great. We've seen it before. We got people saying Shakur Stevenson ain't that great right now, beyond just 135. It's not a lot, but it's still there. The whole reverence for Inoue has been because the talent isn't devalidated. And he's not fighting out of the shadow of somebody else. He's not fighting out of the shadow of a Muhammad Ali-esque figure. Understand that. He's just not. Like, that's part of the reason why Larry Holmes was disrespected, was because he was fighting out of the shadow of Ali from a stylistic standpoint, and he beat him. Everybody hated him. And then he beat good cop Rainford. What, second longest title defense streak that we've seen, 23 total. Was a elite competitive fighter up until age like 42, 43. After he lost to Mike Tyson, he beat Ray Mercer in his late 40s. This brother was the truth. But again, the shadow that was cast over him, wrong place, wrong time, but the fighter was good. This time, Inoue's getting the respect. He's getting the cachet. He's been top 3 for the past, 5 years? They had this number 1 spot for about 2. Has never ducked under top 4. I don't think it's gonna be like that. I think it's gonna be that he gets the respect that he deserves. I truly do. Cause he's the competition, the experts that know the competition, and even the casuals that get exposed to him, they understand, okay, now this brother, he's fighting some real people. And all of a sudden, they go back and look, oh, he fought this brother. Oh, he's good. Oh, he fought this guy. Oh, he's really good. Oh, he beat Stephen Fulton, who's now 120. He's now fighting at 130 for the title against O'Shaquie Foster, who just beat Figueroa in a dominant display and became the 126-pound champion. Is potentially going to be a 2-division champion if he beats O'Shaquie Foster at 130 and 126. Could come back down to 126 and fight against Espinoza, fight against Nick Ball and others. Hey, that's impressive. So we're looking at a situation where I don't think he's going to be disrespected. I think he's going to get the deserved acclaim. Because even here in the States, and we fickle. He getting everything he does from the standpoint of notoriety. It should be bigger. But if it was Larry Holmes, type disrespect, it would be a lot less. And thankfully, it ain't like that. Thank the Lord it ain't like that. But while it could be better, absolutely, it ain't to the level of disrespect that Larry Holmes is getting. Because across the board, nobody's talking anything but praise when it comes to Inoue, from the standpoint of what he does and how he's going about his career. So that's how I feel. And so I think it's gonna be just fine. Inoue has some legit wins and is about to fight MJ, then hopefully Junto. I wouldn't put him in the same boat as Larry Holmes in that regard. Yep, I agree with the same way. Wilder was off. Yep. And thank you for validating. Wilder was offered a $100 million deal by the Zone. Third fight was supposed to be against Joshua, but it was before. Oh, it was before Fury went. My apologies. Okay, thank you. It was before the first fight with Fury, not after the first. Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for that correction. But still, the deal was in place to fight Joshua, $100 million in a fight deal with Joshua at the end. That is true. And it could have happened, but he didn't. He should have, but he didn't. Don't know why, but he didn't. It led to, again, a great trilogy. Still made a bunch of money, earned respect, but still, that fight was there. Let me see. The Zone executive publicly apologized to Wilder for coming. Oh, no, I didn't know that. I'm glad that happened. That was deserved. I did not know it. But did not know he actually came back and apologized. But again, appreciate it. See, this is why I'm glad that y'all are here, because we're getting everybody together, and I'm getting on points that I'm missing. Y'all are able to fact check me, and I'm all for being fact checked absolutely. So I appreciate it. It's fairly safe to poke LeBron. No, it's not. Ask Kendrick Perkins. Ask Kevin Garnett. Ask Steph Curry. Shoot, ask KD. Ask Toronto. Ask Toronto. Ask the entire Eastern Conference. I guarantee you, it ain't safe to poke them. It ain't. I promise you it ain't. Let me see. Mr. Gandhi, how you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning into the show. Let me see what you got to say on the matter. Inoue beats MJ either by decision or stoppage late rounds. Again, we got the breakdown coming next week. But in regards to this fight, I want to hear your thresholds or your topics on how you feel about this fight going and what you think is going to happen. So again, it's going to be a major fight. It's going to be a major fight. It's going to be, this is going to be, and I'm not going to lie. From the standpoint of danger, at least from a power perspective, this is most likely top 3 most dangerous fighters he's faced. Donaire, Neary, well, top 4. Because again, what Cardenas had done fighting at 130 before coming back down to 126, from a power perspective, Donaire, Neary, Cardenas, Akhmadali. Those have been this is going to be within that top 4 of most dangerous fights that we've seen in Inoue's career, from the standpoint of what could go wrong. Also, in light of what he's gotten caught with over the course of the last couple of years. Yeah, it's dangerous. It's scary. It's scary, but I can't wait for it. I'm excited. Let me see. I can tell Inoue is not underestimating MJ, but MJ better not underestimate. He better not. He better not. Cause see, here's the strange reality with people that fight Inoue is the fact that you think you know what you're prepping for up until you get in the ring with them. You think you know up until you actually step in the ring with them. Then it's almost as if everything that you thought you knew about the brother goes out the window, and now you're walking in by the second half of the fight like a deer in headlights, because you're saying, brother, this ain't what I thought it was going to be at all. At all. Nowhere close to what I thought this fight was going to be like. It's every time. Every time. It's the same thing. It's the same bewildered expression. It's the same, oh my gosh type mentality. It's the same desperation. It's the same all hope is lost type feeling. What is going on? That's what I see every time I see somebody fight Inoue. From the bums to the greats, it's all the same. Who is this cat? That's the expression. That's the body language. That's the dominating appeal and the dominating force that is both perpetuated that is the dominating appeal and the dominating force that is both perpetuated by the media and is validated in the ring. This is one of the few instances where you don't know what you're getting into. You don't. You don't know what you're getting into when you face Inoue. Every single time. It's an insane level of uptick. Again, One Piece, Conqueror's hockey. You think you can stand up to it up until you actually step in the ring with it. This buddy can, ironically enough, this cat can hide his hockey. And he'll fight one way, then fight a whole nother way. And all of a sudden you're like, wait, this is the beast that we were talking about? Where was this coming from? It's ridiculous. It's insane. This man is the near perfect fighter. He's not perfect, but doggone it, he's as close as you can get when it comes to having everything about him. He could fight in a manner that he never gets hit, but he doesn't, because that's not what he's about. But in the midst of fighting aggressive, in the midst of looking for that KO, he still is walking on the tightrope of death and life. But he's so defensively good that he can do it as if he's a cat. He can do it like he's Dick Grayson from Batman. The Robin, no, Grayson family, flying Graysons. Part of the reason why he's so acrobatic in his moveset as the sidekick, the Batman turning into his own hero in his own right, kidnapped, Red Hood, all that. You know the story. I think it was Dick Grayson. You know the story. If you don't, look it up. Great story. But regardless, he's like that. He's ridiculous. He is insane. He is. This is why he is nigh unstoppable. It ain't a fluke. It's the truth. That's the thing. It ain't. That's why he's not the monster. He's a myth. He's not the monster. He's a myth. Because you don't believe what you're seeing from this brother. You don't believe what you're seeing from him every time he steps out in the ring. You don't believe it. You can't. A fighter like this should not exist, but yet he does. That's what makes it so incredible. That's what makes it so incredible. Let me see. I don't think people are saying Inoue is not great. What we are saying is he's not fighting the highest caliber of opponents. Neri had a receipt. See, Neri had a receipt hairline. Carnelius coming off of Botox. Like I said, like I reiterate, every fight is going to be a big fight. Cardenas, again, was indeed, we saw how good he actually is in that fight in a way. Now we validate, hey, this brother's the real deal. Boom. It's like with Lamont Welch. Before Lamont fought Tank, all of a sudden it was, it's a buck. Now when Lamont fought Tank, now it's like, oh man, that's a good fighter. And we want to see him fight him again. That's good competition. And as the fight now brought out. Now, Neri with the hairline, hey, I can't help that. I can't. You really can't. I mean, shoot, Derek White, if you want to talk about hairlines, but Derek White had to go bald because that brother was looking bad from the standpoint of his hair. For those of you who follow basketball, you know. But that brother was a killer still. We can't use appearances as the reason for why somebody is or ain't all that great when it comes to where they're at in their career. But from the standpoint of talent and danger, yeah. No, Neri was indeed like, again, for the last couple fights, it's either been somebody pulled out like with Sam Goodman, or, yeah, TJ Doheny, which was, I believe, a mandatory. So it was like, what can you do? But everybody that we wanted him to fight, he is going through. That's the thing. Like I said, if this was Tank and it was the same way, and he had done all this great work, like with Inoue, but then had some fights with, again, a Cardenas or a Kim because of somebody pulling out, and others, we don't hold that against him in this regard because some of these situations were out of their control and some of these were mandatory fights. And so I'm not holding that against him because he still is going through the plan of trying to fight the biggest fights that we want. And like we already said, this ain't me trying to have a contradiction. I've been saying this all the time. Every fighter who is going after legacy is not going to have every fight be top 10 pound for pound, top 10 pound for pound, best in the world, best in the world, best in the world. It doesn't work like that. It's the consistency of having an average opponent level that is indeed high. That's what we're looking to see. And that's what we want. Again, he's fighting the same people that Nick Ball is fighting. Doheny fought Nick Ball just like he fought against Inoue. I'm not saying Doheny is great, but if he's keeping on the same consistency of other champions fighting at their caliber or fighting those caliber opponents as well, I'm down for it. Because it means that you're doing the right thing. You're working in the right direction. Even if it ain't the greatest of great talent, you're on the same playing field in fights as the other champions that are either talked about in the same breath as you or that you are in immediate vicinity towards. As long as you're not falling under that threshold, we can always ask for you to do more, but at least you're keeping consistent with you're fighting where you should be. That's the biggest thing. You're fighting where you should be. That's all. That's the biggest thing we're asking out of everybody. And when we want you to fight the big names, guess what? Every time Inoue has delivered. So I ain't got no issue with it. There's nothing to say on that. But in the lieu of it, are you still at the threshold that you should be at? That's all I'm asking for. From anybody. And for Inoue, that's where it's at right now. And Ahmed Ali, hey, he beats him. There's no more question about, is he, or have his last fights been bad? Has it been questionable? Nah, he beats Ahmed Ali all of a sudden. Hey, all right, yep, it's just like we thought. If he loses to him, guess what? He lost to a great fighter. He lost to a real threat. And we want to see him get his get back. How's he going to recover? That's what we want to see. That's how it goes. That's absolutely how it goes. Let me see. Still disappointed about Wilder, AJ Fury. Yep, I hate that didn't happen. It should have happened. It still needs to happen. Again, Ngannou versus Wilder starting to heat up talks. So we can see that happen. If that happens and we see Wilder win, maybe then we get AJ versus Wilder finally. Hopefully, prayerfully. Oh Lord. That's all that's all I want. That's really all I want. Let me see. Armando Rosado. Hey, how you doing? I gotta get through. I need to be better. I getting through these chats. I'm not gonna waste no more time. Let me see. Who you got, bro? I love your takes. For Canelo Crawford. For Canelo Crawford, as of right now, I have Canelo. However, again, tomorrow, the full breakdown of this fight is coming down. The full breakdown, just to be clear, the full breakdown of Crawford versus Canelo, Canelo versus Crawford, that full breakdown is coming tomorrow. Understand. Get ready. Get ready. It's coming tomorrow. Doing a full-blown thing, and it's going to be great. You're going to love it. Be here tomorrow on Friday. Still going to be the championship rounds, but we're doing a full breakdown of my opinion on the fight tomorrow. Right now, I got Canelo. Absolutely. I'm going to give the full breath as to how it's going to happen on Friday. And who knows what I'm going to say at that point? Who knows? Who knows? But it's going to be a great show nonetheless. But as of today, right now, I got Canelo. As of right now, I got Canelo. Let's see. It's these crazy guys who still won't fight. We need Wilder, AJ, Fury, AJ. At least one of those fights. Yes, we do. We need that to happen. Eddie Hearn better be there at MJ or at MJ versus Inoue fight. He better. Because again, I want to see the announcement. I want to see the big announcement. I need to see it. Of Junto's coming to May. I wouldn't be surprised if Junto's going to be there. I would not be surprised if Junto's going to be there and he walks into the ring and says, hey, I relinquished my belts. I'm here now. Let's go. March, February, January. One of those three, let's make it happen. That's all I want to see. That's all I want to see. I need, gosh. I cannot wait for that fight. Let me see. I'm glad. Let me see. It just gets swept under the rug. Yes, it does. I'm glad it seems like this era is coming to an end. The era of not making big fights. We're finally getting the big fights that we want to see. Absolutely no question about it. And the scary part is, Inoue is getting better. Yes, he is getting better. He's getting caught. Because again, the danger's getting higher, but he is getting better, which we love. And he's still reaching his prime. He isn't even at the peak of his. He's in the midst of his prime. Right now, at 31. My gosh, he can still improve. And it's going to be incredible. It's going to be insane. I also feel like the Charlos, I also feel like that about the Charlos and Lara, Jamel Triple G, Jamel and Jacobs. Sucks we didn't get these fights. Again, it's lost the time, and I hate it. I want to see him. We need to see him. Good gosh. I wish we got these fights. I really do. But let me keep on reading. Hello, JC. What's going on, brother? Hey. What's going on? How you doing? Thank you for tuning into the show. We're so glad you're with us on today. Let me see what you got to say. Knowing the people in the way has sparred for this fight, I can almost promise you he will KO MJ. Hey, look, he is not taking this butter lightly. He's got to get away. He can't. I'm going to tell you this, though. He cannot make that mistake of getting caught with the hook off of overextending from a shot like he did against Neary and like he did against Cardenas. He can't do that. Not this time. Not this time. I will say he's got to make sure he does not get that aggressive. And again, I believe somebody said that some reporters said he's not going to fight like that again from the standpoint of he's taking a different approach for the better to mitigate those risks. Great. Can't wait to see it. But as of right now, still, it's a danger. It's a real danger. It is indeed a real danger. But let me keep on reading. Inoue by KO 100%. Yep, a lot of people are saying Inoue by KO. I feel the same way as of right now. Like I said, we're going to break down that fight come next week, and it's going to be exciting. Let me see. You just watching these fighters for a decade. I feel like we were robbed of so many great fights. And you know what? Weekend, and also MS, how you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning into the show. So glad you're with us on today. We appreciate you joining in for the ride, and we're so glad that you're here. Easy work for Inoue. A lot of people are feeling like it's going to be easy. It's not going to be easy work, but it's going to be good work. It's not going to be easy, but it's sure enough it's going to be good. And we're going to see Inoue really do his thing, I think, again, in this fight. Now, real quick, let me touch on the world of these big fights. And with this topic going down, we can talk about the championship rounds real quick, because I think we've covered everything. I think we've covered everything we need to cover in the span of the main topics of the show. Let's jump into the championship round, shall we? Hey, let's do it right now. Come on. Yes, sir. It's time to work. It's time to shine. It's time to make the show your own and make this show sublime by having your voices and opinions be heard throughout the whole of this show. 30 minutes to an hour, whatever you want to discuss, we can discuss it right here, right now. Please keep on liking the stream. Please keep on sharing the show. And please keep on making it so that we can hear your voice and let your voice be heard. It is your time to say whatever you want to say. We've covered everything about what I have on my show. Now it's your time to shine and your time to work. But while you're getting your questions together, your thoughts, your comments, debates on whatever you want to discuss on, whether it's movies, sports, TV, video games, basketball, football, American football. I don't know a whole bunch about soccer, but if I can't touch on it, I will. But American football, debates that we didn't get to talk about before, so conversations or opinions you want my thoughts on, just how your day been, all of that. We can discuss it right here for you all to be able to say. So I'm all for it right here, right now. So let's jump right into it, shall we? Yes, sir. It's time to work. So let me read what you all got to say on the topic. Crawford's low. See.
Hey, look at this.
No, we're not doing this. Hey, look here. I'm glad that you're here. First off, Crawford's loaded gloves. I'm glad you're here. I hope, Lord knows, I hope and pray that doesn't happen in this fight. I don't want a Wilder situation versus Fury. I don't want a Berlanga Shiraz situation or debacle. I want this clean. I hope he don't bring loaded gloves to this fight. Lord knows. Oh gosh, please don't let that happen. Oh, that would be terrible. But you got Canelo in 8. I can understand it. Canelo knocking out Crawford in 8 rounds. Now, like I said, at 168, he hasn't knocked out a bunch of people. He's put him down, but he ain't put him out. He knocked down Munguia, though he kept him up willingly, he said it himself, but knocked down Charlo, couldn't knock him out. Knocked down John Ryder, couldn't knock him out. And it's been somewhat the question in power of finishing the job has not been able to be done on the side of Canelo. That does breed it into a thing of, hey, with us knowing how Crawford is able to fight, and if he gets pushed, he'll go to a new level. You knock him down, and you can't end the show. Like we've seen with Crawford, like we've seen with Canelo for the last couple fights, last 5 fights. Hey, that could spell some real trouble for Canelo. Because now, as he gets better and you let him recover, you don't get the job done. All of a sudden, oh my, oh me, oh my. Did we not see Berlanga also get good work in after the knockdown from Canelo? Did we not see John Ryder also all of a sudden have some success after the knockdown from Canelo? As in like winning some rounds because he was able to survive? I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I'm saying it's a concern. It is a real concern. But let me keep on reading what you all got to say. But again, you got Canelo in 8. I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it at all for this prediction. Are you saving Thurman fight for another day? So, because it's so far out, I wasn't going to really delve into it, but we can touch on it. We can't touch it. Also, we got good guys. Oh, Lord, we got a bunch of people in the chat. Like with Sack, Bubba Sack. What's going on, brother? Hey, how you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning into the show. So glad you put this on today. We appreciate you coming out. Please leave a like on the stream. Keep on supporting. Keep on sharing. Keep on letting the world know that this is the hottest show in all the globe, and you're going to love it absolutely. We're in the championship rounds right now, so we can talk about whatever you all want to discuss in the world of sports as a whole or even beyond. But going back to the conversation with Thurman, I did have one thing I wanted to bring up with that Keith Thurman fight. If I can find it, and I think I can right here, right now. Where is it at? Where is it at? Where is it at? Come on. Where is it at? There we go. All right. It's here somewhere. Good gosh, where? Come on now. Wait, I had to say. Yeah, here it is, right. this, the height discrepancy for that fight with Thurman versus Fundora, but I didn't realize how big it was. Like, look at this.
Hey, look at this. We got some problems here.
What the what?
We got some problems here.
Now, I get it. Thurman's doing the whole thing, doing the show, doing the mental games, getting in your head. Hey, you ain't bigger than me. I'm bigger than you. All that stuff. We did the classic Keith Thurman stuff that we've seen before. But, like, this is ridiculous. Mind you, Fundora's 6'5", nearly 6'6", and these boots most likely 6'6". This brother, there was another, I can't find it, but there was another one of how far out, or excuse me, when Thurman was flat-footed, looking at Fundora, brother, this ticket, this buy tickets now barcode was covering up everything but Thurman's head. Because to keep Fundora in frame, they had Keith Thurman almost like Mike Wazowski with him having the thing over. Have you seen that meme? Not even me. Disney got a thing where anything with Mike Wazowski from Monsters, Inc., every time he's on any promotional footage, he is covered up because it's a running joke. That was almost the case with Thurman in this fight and the promotional pictures getting this fight because his head was down here just above this buy tickets now sign. And Fundora, his head was all the way up here, top of the screen. So now it's a ridiculous height advantage. Ridiculous height advantage. I don't know how Thurman's gonna be able to overtake that. That's gonna be interesting. That's gonna be that's gonna be funny to watch. I'm not gonna lie. That's gonna be funny to watch. But we're gonna save the Thurman fight talk for another day. In terms of like dedicated, we can still talk about it now, but dedicated fight talk, we're gonna say that for another day as the fight draws closer and closer. We don't want to go too much into it. We'll say some stuff later on. Like I said, you offload too much content. Next thing you know, you ain't got nothing to talk about as the weeks go on. But we're gonna talk about it absolutely in more detail just later on as the years go through. Hey, who plays Undisputed PS5? I'm not gonna lie, I've been watching the tracks. I ain't got the game yet. Like I said, everything's been going to this show. All the money's been has been going into this show. I ain't got it yet, but I've been seeing it's gotten better. Once I get it though, we gonna throw down. Ooh, we gonna throw down. I'm putting my game attack and everything. Like I said, we got some. I'm telling you, we're working on some stuff. And once we do, y'all fear me and my Joe Frazier, especially with the added dips, slips that they've added. Better, more responsive slipping. Oh, it's gonna be a time. It's gonna be for time. Y'all gonna love it. Y'all gonna love that. Absolutely. Let me see. Bud definitely stopping Canelo. If his gloves, if his gloves are loaded, no kidding, he'll be able to hurt him. Absolutely. That would be insane. If Bud wears the Everlast gloves for the Avenesian fight, he sleeps Canelo in 5. Look, we are not going through that drama again. I do not want to go through that drama again. Lord knows that got me, boy, that got everybody in some hot water with him breaking gloves off the punch. Shoot. I don't want to see something explode as the middle of the fight. But if it did happen, hey, might be the way to get him knocked out. Who knows? What man? But let me see. Crawford, the real glove gate. See. This is why. Hey, this is why I said. This is why I didn't want to go down that road. This is why I didn't want to go down that road. The Lord knows it brings a bunch of stuff. Let me see. Crawford's neck too little. And see, I don't know about that no more. I don't know about that. Because if we look at the evidence perpetuated with Crawford now at I'm feeling comfortable at 168, looking comfortable at 168. And if I can find it right here, where is it at? Where is it at? There was a clip of him training. Was it within the other clip that I had of Crawford? And that thing, yeah, I think it's right here. It should be a full body image. Is it in here? Let me. I'm not about to get copyright stricken again. Wait a minute. Hold on now. Hold on, wait. I ain't trying to get copyrighted. Hold on, wait a minute. Oh shoot. Oh my gosh, that was almost bad. Hold on, I'm trying to get the picture of Crawford with his neck or with his body, full body, in training camp. It's here somewhere. It's an image of him somewhere, like fairly recent. Is this it? Okay, yeah, here it is. Or for the second time, this might be the best that we can get. For the second time, this might be the best that we can get. But if we look at this, like I don't think Crawford's gonna. Like he looks filled out, and he doesn't look like, oh my gosh, yeah. Easily he's gonna get rocked and put to sleep. The kingdom come. Like for real. If you look at this man's neck is incredibly developed now. The whole body of him is incredible. I mean, again, part of the things I gauge with power, it's like what Archibald it's like with Canelo, is the forearms of a fighter. And if you look at this, it is the definition, and it is the development of somebody that now has fully uncapped their ability to crack. And if you look at his neck, like his neck, it ain't a twig like it was at 147. Though, again, even at 147, he wasn't skinny. He was cut up. The kingdom come. Absolutely fit as all get out. But like, this why I'm buying into what Bo Mac's been saying about this brother at 168. You should have been there a long time ago. Because now all of a sudden, this Crawford, this ain't what I was, even when Charlo moved up to 168, it wasn't like this. Understand, it wasn't like this. Even Charlo at 168 wasn't like this. From the standpoint of body proportions, yeah, he came into the fight 162, 163. Sure, he looked bigger. But from the standpoint of like fitting into the body, like this, it's looking bad. It's looking really bad. And again, with the lack of being able to put people out that we've seen from Canelo, I'm not sure we're going to see Canelo hurt or rather just put out Crawford with the greatest abuse. Now, him knocking him down, hey, I ain't got no issue with it. Him knocking down Terence Crawford, yeah, sure. We can most likely see that happen. If we're going to pick Crawford, we're going to pick Canelo to win. Yeah, we can see him knock him down, absolutely. Absolutely. Because he's put multiple people down before. It's not about putting them down. It's about ending the show. But putting them down is not the biggest concern. He can most likely do that. But again, Crawford developing the body is getting to a point where now not only am I bigger, but I'm also more durable now. I am. And part of my process of getting to you as a fighter, yeah, I'm going to take punches because stylistically, that's what I do. It's not a new thing, though this is going to be a new form of power. But if this body can withstand it, then we're going to have ourselves a good fight. And I think it's going to be able to. If you don't agree, I completely understand. But I'm giving you my 2 cents on the matter. You're just trying to be as real as I can be. I think that body's going to be able to withstand it better than people may expect. The biggest thing will be punches to the body. It's not the head. It's not the head I'm worried about. It's the body that I'm worried about when it comes to Crawford. That's not because he's been hurt there before, but because of the danger of Canelo is the body is the biggest weapon above anything else. So yeah, I'm concerned with that. Because I know that's the biggest thing that breaks down everybody that he fights against. So yeah, can his body take it? We're going to find out. Everything is going to be answered on the 13th. That's the biggest thing. And so I like Keith having to see him get, oh yeah. Keith, I'm sorry. I thought you said something. Keith getting back in the ring, having to see him in the game, interesting in the ring. Speaking of getting back in the ring, almost forgot. And as we keep on going to Crawford, we'll be running all night. I don't think so. No, he won't. No, he won't. He won't be running. If Crawford runs, the amount of respect he'll lose will be insane. And it will be so against his nature that he won't even allow himself to run, even if he's in trouble. From the standpoint of, yeah, I'm hurt, but I gotta make something happen. He would rather go out on the shield than run and act like, yeah, I'm getting away because I'm scared of what's coming at me. I promise you won't be like that. I'm picking Keith just for old time's sake. Hope he can pull it off. Yeah, if he can't, if Keith Thurman pulls this off, all credit to him. He was already well and good progressing, better than we expected in his first fight back roughly a year ago. Now coming back against a champion. If he indeed got that rhythm that he lost, the timing, the balance that he lost from those 3 years in his first fight back, if he gets that back, yeah, he could get Fundora. But I'm telling you, Fundora's gotten better. Fundora's gotten a whole lot better now. He making people quit. He putting people out. He knocking out Lubin. He knocking out Tim Tszyu. Stopping Tim Tszyu. He putting people to bed. He can get caught, absolutely. But he's a dangerous brother. He's a dangerous brother, I'm telling you. Yep, I almost forgot. Iglesias is tonight. Now, I'm not going to be able to stream the fight. Understandable. Again, I'm sorry. I know. I'm the fight guy. I streamed all the stuff I can. I'm not going to be able to do it this night because I'm pulling double duty trying to make sure I got everything ready for the thing or for the breakdown tomorrow. So I'm going to be watching that, studying film, and taking notes all at the same time, best of my ability. So I'm sorry. But, hey, watch him. Watch Iglesias. Please watch Iglesias. Get ready. Because, brother, he is an exciting fighter. He got some real pop to him. And, again, we want to see some major fights from him down the line. This could open up that door. And we want to see it. I'm excited for it. I'm going to be watching it. I just won't be able to see it or watch it live with you all tonight. But be prepared, because it's going to be a good thing. We're probably going to see him put somebody to sleep. It's going to be exciting. I can't wait for it. No question about it. His bone structure might be too little for the punches. Also might have a son. A son. So you're saying it's going to be a Billy Joe Saunders situation. He gets caught with an uppercut, and then all of a sudden, orbital bone shot. Now, again, he's been shot in the back of the head and drove himself to the hospital. I don't know if an orbital bone is going to be the thing that, okay, yeah, we can't fight no more. I don't know about that. Now, it can be damaging. It can happen, absolutely. I don't think it's going to be, and again, because of who we're discussing, this ain't us overglazing a man. This is us understanding exactly the type of monster that we're dealing with. He'll fight through whatever he needs to get through. He will. He will. Because, again, he's literally faced death. He's walked down death and then drove himself to get fixed up. So, hey, I'm not sure an orbital bone or an orbital socket is going to stop this fight. Man, I'm almost assured that would not. The world? Okay, I'm almost assured that wouldn't stop that fight. That would not stop this fight from continuing, at least on the side of Crawford. Now, his corner may stop it, but he won't. I promise you he won't. I can guarantee you he won't. But he could get something. Something bad could happen. No question about it. Because you're dealing with some insane power, and Canelo's done that to people before. But this is also Crawford, who is a no-quit type of guy. Genuine, not just hype, for real. So, it could be a thing. Crawford would want to fight through it. Bomac would most likely stop it because trainer looks out at the fighter, as you should. So I wouldn't be surprised in that. From the standpoint of if it did happen, I could see it. Then it's up to you how much does Bomac trust Crawford to say, yeah, you can fight through him and be okay. Or, yeah, pack it up. We need you to fight for another day. We can run it back anytime. But it's better for you to go home. That's what we could see. And if that happens, hey. Anyways, let's see. Welch's video where his video where he's leaving Omaha for Vegas, he's too small. Now I haven't seen that one. Like I said, he came in. Last time we saw him before cutting weight drastically, he was 185. He's cut down to about I want to say 170. I want to say 175. And I think again as time goes on, more so cutting weight, probably within range of close to 168. Probably 175, 173. over the week, cuts the last thing, and then you're good to go. That's probably what we see happen. But regardless of which, again, he could be too small. I completely understand, but I just don't think that's going to be as drastic of a factor this time. I don't. It's going to be a factor, no question. But as much as people are putting on it as it could be too big, I just don't think it's going to be that case. I don't. Because we've already seen what this brother is pound for pound strength-wise when he was at 147. And we see what he has developed into at 168. It's looking like it's fitting him just fine. Rather than he's blowing himself up and he don't look the same. It's flabby muscle. It's fat instead of muscle. It's not well developed, and it also doesn't look like it's comfortable for him. Doesn't look like the case. Now, again, we're going to find out on fight night, to be clear. But I'm strongly thinking, even with me having, as of right now, having Canelo in this fight, I'm not going to have the weight discrepancy as such a big end-all be-all that it's going to be that, yeah, he won't be able to do it. Because like I said at the start of the show, I overlooked everything that Canelo did in that fight with Charlo because I was blinded by how bad Charlo was in that fight for not trying to do anything different. However, while now I can acknowledge, hey, if that version of Canelo shows up against Crawford, that can be a tough time, which it will be. That still doesn't take away from the fact that Crawford is not Charlo in the slightest. From a talent perspective, from a power perspective, from an everything perspective, there's a completely different fighter. So everything that we saw that was problematic in that fight with Charlo on his side might not be as much of a detrimental thing on the side of Crawford because Crawford is indeed a better fighter in every regard. And y'all are always saying in the chat, hey, skill beats all. Skill beats everything. That's what you all say in the chat all the time. Skill over everything. That's how it works. I don't care how big you are. If you got the skills to beat him, guess what? You got the skills to beat him. Y'all have said that multiple times. I'm not saying this to be beating anybody down. I'm saying this is what you all have said. Skills pay the bills. Skills get the job done. I don't care how big you may be. If you are a better fighter than somebody, you can overcome that disadvantage. You can. And and Crawford's a leagues better fighter than Charlo. And we've acknowledged, at least in the boxing IQ department, while they're both great, Crawford's a smarter fighter than Canelo. And he's got more tools that he can use than Canelo at this stage in his career. Though he's older than Canelo, which sounds like a contradiction, but it's not. It's just the truth of the matter. So he's got the goods to take this over the hump in his favor. It's just going to be hard. It's going to be incredible. I'm telling you, it's going to be incredibly hard. It can happen, but it's going to be incredibly hard. I can't wait to see it. That's all. I'm just excited to see the fight. Not next to Canelo. Canelo said, just talking about the head size of Canelo. Yeah, and again, Canelo is a big dude. Without saying Canelo's going to get knocked out or hurt, the biggest thing is just for Crawford to get Canelo's respect, and I think he can. I truly believe he can. If Crawford was serious, he would have taken a tune-up fight to this level. It's just a payday. And it's like, I mean, you also got to understand, unlike Charlo, he took a full-blown year to prep himself for this fight. Like, genuine. Like again, I said I wanted a tune-up. Y'all know me. You moving up to a division, you need a tune-up fight before anything. That's with anybody. I'm all for that. However, yeah, it should have been, I would have loved for him to have a tune-up at 168 before fighting Canelo. But him taking a year and explicitly saying, yo, I'm getting my body right for this fight to happen. And he's been moving like that all this time. It shows me that he has not taken anything but the ultimate preparation to prep himself for this fight. We're going to find out whether it was a mistake to not get a tune-up against a bump at 168 just to understand what it's like. But I'm telling you, he's taking this as seriously as possible. This is more than a payday. But because again, Crawford has said it himself, he can't beat everybody at 168, but he sure enough knows he can beat Canelo. He believes he can beat Canelo. He acknowledges where his weaknesses are at this heavyweight class. But he also knows if I know I can beat somebody, I'm taking them on. I know that for a fact. And he's moved as such throughout his entire career. So this ain't no different. He sees something he can beat with Canelo. So that's why he's taking the test. Should he have taken a tune-up? In my opinion, yes. But I'm not going to say that he ain't been serious. Because we see through the body development who he's brought in training camp and how much he has been, again, fervently putting pedal to the metal. Yeah, you're doggone right. I believe he's taking this as seriously as you can. Absolutely. Let me see. Business and Groovy. What's going on, brother? How you doing? Good to see you. Thank you so much for tuning into the show. So glad you're with us on today. Please leave a like on the stream. We are in the championship rounds. Keep on sharing the show. If you want to support the show, while we don't have monetization just yet, so we can't do super chats and other things, but if you want to give some money to the show, help us to make this show bigger and better, equipment and all that stuff, Cash App and PayPal links down below in the description to help make this show bigger and better. Mean the world to me, and I appreciate it oh so much. Anything will do, and hey, helps us to pay the bills and helps us to make sure that we can make this show bigger and better for you all to enjoy. But let me see what you got to say. I know I said Canelo was my pick, but I'll say this. If Bud hits him, he will hurt him. Also, good afternoon, my brother. Well, hey, brother, that's a great way to start off your statement. I'm glad you're into the show, but let me tell you something. If Crawford does hurt Canelo, brother, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my goodness. Understand this. And again, it's insane to see. But my gosh, if Crawford does hurt Canelo, you better be prepared that if Crawford, it's not likely. But where's my music? I want you to look at me dead in my face wherever you're looking and tune everything out for one quick second. I need you to understand this completely and utterly without any lack of understanding and or misconstruing of my words. If we see Terence Crawford hurt Canelo Alvarez, Terence Crawford is going to knock out Canelo. If we see Terence Crawford hurt Canelo, Crawford's going to knock out Canelo. If I was a betting man and you told me that Crawford's going to hurt Canelo, what happens after? Which again, I don't bet, but Crawford's knocking him out. Crawford is top 3 best finishers in the game, regardless of weight class or division. There is no way that I would ever not say that if Crawford had Canelo hurt, that he wouldn't end the show. He's ending the show. It's not likely. It's not likely. But you mark my words. Mark my words. If Crawford hurts Canelo Alvarez is going to get knocked out for the first time in his career. If Crawford hurts Canelo, he will get knocked out for the first time in his career. And I can guarantee that. I'm not going to guarantee that he's going to hurt him. But I will promise you, if Crawford does hurt him, Canelo's going to get knocked out without any hesitation. No hesitation whatsoever. Canelo will get put to sleep if that happens. And this fight will be stopped or he's not getting up. It's not likely. We've been saying if Crawford can hurt him, he can get the respect. The respect thing is making Canelo respect the power just to know it's there. And I can't be so reckless with what I do. Again, that gives Crawford room to work. You gain respect. You won half the fight, which is good. But if Crawford does in fact wobble, hurt, or buzz Canelo, Crawford's going to sleep. If there's enough time left in this fight and he buzzes and hurts Canelo, he's going to sleep. Canelo's getting knocked out. He's getting knocked out. I promise you. I promise you. He's getting knocked out. He's getting knocked out. You can say whatever you want about Terence Crawford. He's that great of a finisher. He is one of the best finishers of this era in boxing. That is not a question. That is not a concern. That is not a topic of discussion. We understand that fully. We understand that. We've said that for 3 years, and it still bodes true to this day. But if he hurts Canelo, he's knocking him out. I can promise you that. But the question of will he hurt him, that's what we got to ask. That's what we don't know. That's where the unease comes into play. Because it's a highly unlikely situation. But if it does happen, it goes into the biggest advantage for Crawford of this fight. Of the two finishers that can get the job done, there is nobody in this fight that I would take to finish the other than Terence Crawford. Because what we know about Canelo, he's had people hurting down before, and he didn't finish the job when he should have finished the job. He either let them live or, worse off, could not make them die. There's a difference. There's a difference. There's a difference. He let Munguia live. He let Munguia live. He let Munguia live when he got him hurt and knocked him down multiple times. That's different. He could not kill John Ryder, and he couldn't force him to die. He couldn't do it. He knocked him down, had him buzzed on what looked like slumped on the ropes. We thought it was going to be over. That fight went 12, and he couldn't put him down. He knocked down Charlo with Charlo running, and he couldn't finish the job. He couldn't. And he was actively trying that time. Again, Charlo was just trying to survive. Understandable. But still, this is a situation where, unlike with William Skull, he cracked him, he put him down, and he went for going to end the show, and he couldn't. Berlanga, he had him down. And we saw Shiraz be able to, we saw Shiraz the next round put to sleep Berlanga and finish the job. But Canelo couldn't do it. I'm not comparing the talent. I'm comparing the ability to finish the show. Kill your prey. It's been a question with Canelo, whether we like it or not. Whether we like it or not. It has been a question with Canelo. Your finishing ability has diminished since your years at 168, with your last knockout finishing the job being Caleb Plant. That's it. Ever since then, you've had good performances, though it's against names that are not on the level that we want. But still, when you were fighting them and you had them on the ropes, outside of Munguia, which you admitted you did not intentionally knock him out. Or excuse me, you intentionally did not knock him out because you wanted to help him teach in the ring. You said that yourself. Outside of that, Berlanga, Ryder, Charlo, 3 of the 5, you put down. You put him down bad, and you couldn't end it. 2 of which had success after the knockdown, later in the fight, in Berlanga and Ryder. So it's not out the question for me to say that if I was going to pick somebody to finish the job, if both of them got hurt in this fight, it's Crawford. And if Crawford does hurt Canelo, I am more pressed to say that, yeah, Crawford would knock out Canelo if both of them had the same opportunity. I can see a world where Canelo can't finish Crawford. He still wins the fight, sure, but he doesn't survive, but he lets him survive. Not even lets. Crawford is able to survive. And just like with the others, he's able to get some success later on in the fight, even in a loss, because Canelo could not end the show. That's been a problem. It's been a speculation. It's been an issue. 3 of the last 5 times. That's the issue. That's the question. And so it's like, putting him down just ain't enough. You have to beat him. He can. But if you have Crawford hurt, knowing how Crawford is doing, knowing what Crawford has done, every time he's been down on the cards, every time people have almost had him beat or had him hurt, you let him recover, brother, he'll turn the tables on you. And now, he's going to get it done. You know that. Canelo, we haven't been able to say the same thing about him at 168. We just haven't. Because we've seen it. witnessed it. And so that's why it ain't as much of a oh my gosh type statement for me to say if Crawford did hurt Canelo, he would be able to knock him out. And the likelihood of Crawford surviving Canelo if Crawford does get hurt and being able to make it out and turn the fight around could be more possible than expected, because we've seen other people do that same thing. Win rounds, have success, find a formula, do something that works, because Canelo could not end the show. It's just the truth of the matter. And so, again, I'm excited for this fight, but we gotta look at this from every angle. We ain't trying to fabricate stuff. This is the real. This is the real stuff. But let me keep on reading what you all have to say. Definitely, hey brother, what's going on, man? I think that's Justin behind the screen, using a different computer. But either way, what's going on? How you doing? I appreciate you tuning into the show. So glad you're with us on today. Hopefully, you like what we got going on, and hey, hopefully you want to go through and leave a like on the stream and keep on sharing the show. It's been a blast of what we've had for everybody coming through. I love the conversation. I love the dialogue. Please keep on commenting, keep on going through, keep on making this show your own. And we love your thoughts and opinions. And let me keep on reading what you all had to say. So I'm making sure that I'm keeping up with everybody in the chat. I think one of the biggest factors is Bud's punch distance. Yes, absolutely. His ability to take a punch as well is going to be something that can be very much a detriment or a additive in this fight. I think Charlo is bigger than Crawford. From a height perspective, yes. From a weight perspective, we could see Crawford come in closer to 168 than Charlo. Charlo came in 162, 163. We could see Canelo come in actively at 168. Because Bomac's saying, hey, you should have been up here a long time ago. You're a big brother that we should have been moving up a hot minute, but you wanted to stay down at 147. And if you can make weight, okay, we'll stay at making weight. But if you can't and you want to move up, we should have been gone up here. Bomac's words, not mine. We played that section of the interview earlier in the show. I don't want to be too repetitious, but if that's the case, we could see that, yeah, Charlo could be smaller than Crawford by the time Crawford gets up to 168. And Crawford could be closer to the on weight of 168 as Canelo. I mean, because we saw the height of Charlo. It was bigger. But the size, we were saying, oh my gosh, Canelo just looks like a wall compared to Charlo. But Crawford's not looking like that same, from a mass perspective. It's not looking as much bare bones as Charlo was when they first started against each other. He just isn't. Which, again, could be because of the stockiness, could be because of the build, but also could be because he's actually getting to that high weight class. So, I'm excited for it. Let me see. We got a bunch of people. We got Armando Rosado came back in. We got War Prime Minister. What's going on, brother? How you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning in to the show. So glad you're here with us on today. Appreciate you joining in on the live. Let me keep on reading. So he looked human at 154, winning a controversial decision. He comes back 400 days after the fight. Well, again, it's been more so like a year, or maybe a year and a half to get ready for this fight. And one of the world's best pound for pound fighters. I get it. Like I said, we're not saying this is a likely win. And I've been saying I got Canelo. I got Canelo in this fight. I've been saying that for a long time. However, one, final breakdown's coming on Friday, tomorrow. Two, this is more than just again, we're dealing with a huge fight. Again, need I remind you that just like with Sugar Ray Leonard, we're comparing this not just because, it's a person coming up to a different weight class than another. We're not doing it. Before Leonard fought Marvin Hagler, he fought Kevin Howard and then had a 3-year layoff. Do we forget that? You need evidence? Come look for yourself. If you want to say the distance is too far, mind you, it's been a year, maybe a little bit over a year since Crawford's been back in the ring since Magimov. Understandable. But lest we forget. Look, that's the wrong page. Hold on. lest we forget, Kevin Howard, 1984. Marvin Hagler, 1987. 150 was this weight. 160 was against Marvin Hagler. And you saw how that fight turned out. Now, there's no guarantee that it's going to be like that. But we are telling you, this is lining up eerily similar. And it's getting to a point where this is also the threshold to the best at their respective era that have been talked about from a talent perspective in the same breath, now facing off against each other. Though the fight with Hagler versus Leonard was more vaunted, Hagler was calling out Leonard when he was still at 147 for years before they finally got that fight. But still, you're looking at it and we're saying, hey, well, we're not saying the same stuff about this, and we see what happens. And I've said that Marvin Hagler, Sugar Ray Leonard, Roberto Duran, Tommy Hearns, the four kings of boxing in the 80s, would be a fifth king involved in that conversation with Terence Crawford. So guess what that means? But he would fit right in. He's built like that. And he's getting less time off than Leonard did against Marvin Hagler. Way less. Ironically enough, over 400 days less than the time off that Leonard had before he fought Hagler. But we're saying that fight was a great fight. Though I still feel Hagler won, hey, look at how it turned out. So if we're saying Leonard had ring rust here, if we're saying that, oh, there was a big concern there, well, this should be a drop in the bucket if we're comparing the two situations against, again, one of the greats we've ever seen against another one of the greats we've ever seen. So I don't think that layoff is going to be as much of a big discussion as we may think when it comes to this fight and how it's going to transpire. I don't got no, not that one. I truly don't. I don't think it's going to be like that. But let me see. Well, Charlo's 5'11", Bud's 5'8". Charlo did look soft in the body at 168. Oh, yep, see? And we'll see how solid Bud looks. Yeah. The weigh-in next week is going to show us a lot. It's going to answer so many questions for a lot of people. It's going to answer questions for a lot of people. I'm telling you. Let me see. He should have fought William Skull and go in that shit. Well, again, the fight with Skull and Crawford got done so that Canelo could be undisputed going into that fight. Again, it was more so of a pageantry, a pleasantry, a necessary evil to take place so we could have an undisputed champion going into this fight. As we know, Canelo dropped the belt when he was reigning as IBF because he wouldn't fight the IBF mandatory, which was William Skull. So got stripped. The mandatory got made. Then, boom. Now, okay, we're going to run back around. Now that this fight with Crawford has now been agreed upon, let's get the fight, get the win, then go and beat the likes of Crawford, hypothetically, and bring Undisputed into one of the biggest fights of the year. That's why that happened. Again, necessary evil. A necessary circumstance that took place. And Skull was the mandatory for Canelo when Canelo was undisputed before he got stripped. And he just went and fought him anyway to keep the belt. So whatever the case was, it happened. And that's why we saw that fight happen. And that's why Crawford didn't fight Skull for the title. Because one was gaining weight to properly cut it down to get prepared for 168, and Skull was involved with Canelo and all. So that's why everything happened the way that it happened. So hopefully that answers your question on the matter. But as we keep on going through, Amanda Rosado, Canelo was pretty technical too. I think that one, okay, the best. No, he is technical. I'm not diminishing Canelo's ability. Be clear, I'm not doing that. Though I feel that Crawford is a better technical fighter at this stage in the life of a boxer. No, they're still like very comparable to each other. I've said that on multiple occasions, so I'm glad you see that as well. People keep saying Canelo getting old, and Bud is actually older than him. That is a valid point. That's what makes this incredible. That's what makes this phenomenal. We're saying all this about Crawford, but Crawford's older than Canelo. It would be a monumental win with the added addition of age if we saw a 38-year-old Crawford be a 36-year-old Canelo. Preposterous. It would be a great win if Canelo beat Crawford. Absolutely. No, we're not taking anything away from that. That would still be phenomenal. But if we see it the other way around, with the understanding of Crawford is still at his prime, fighting like this against a fighter who is indeed ridiculously dominant at this division, and while diminished, still well within the prime of his career as the undisputed king, both figuratively and literally, in this division. Like it'll be incredible. It'll be incredible. That's part of why this stuff is on pins and needles. Because if Crawford does this in the face of abject youth and adversity, I mean, what else would there be? What else would there be to say, except for yeah, you got it. You know, like what else would there be to say? There wouldn't be anything to say. There'd be nothing else to say because it would just be, he's great. The only thing we could say is this, but it's great. It's a bad dude. That's the only thing we'll be able to say. And so it's like, that's why I can't wait for this fight. That's why I can't wait. Because we're in the age of aging champions. Even Canelo is an aging champion at 36. Crawford's 38. One of the oldest in boxing right now. Badu Jack's 40. Lara's 42. Archibald was 41 when he was champion. Or 40, mid-40, 40, 41, somewhere around the age. Like, Pacquiao almost became a champion at the age of 46. We're seeing elite talent stay longer than we may have ever expected. Which, again, is preposterous, but still is the reality. So for Crawford to do this would be insurmountable. Because, again, the age is indeed a real factor as to why people have this fight either go. Did I put my own? I must have hit a button. My bad. I didn't mean to put my own stuff in the chat. But regardless of which, it would be incredible if that did take place. Because it would be almost unfathomable, nigh inconceivable for a lot of people that would actually happen. And so, yeah, it would be something to behold. Let me see. I really like Crawford, but I don't see how he can win this fight. And again, we're going to break it down. We're going to break it down tomorrow. How exactly Crawford can win, if he can win at all, against this fight with Canelo. So be here tomorrow, because I guarantee you, we're going to break it down every way till Sunday. How exactly we can see both fighters win, and who ultimately I got winning in this fight. Because it's going to be a great one. And y'all going to have a lot of stuff to say, I promise you that. But let me keep on reading what you all have to say. Which fight will be more competitive, Canelo and Crawford, or Inoue versus MJ? Most likely. This is actually a really good question. This is a really good question. On paper, it would be assumed that Inoue versus MJ would be the more competitive fight on paper. But honestly, I'm going to go with Crawford versus Inoue. Or Crawford versus Canelo. If in fact we see Canelo live up to, or if in fact we see Crawford do what I think he's going to be able to do, yeah, this could be more competitive than MJ versus Ahmed. We could see MJ versus Ahmed Ali get a knockout, bing, bang, boom, done. 6 rounds, Inoue knocks him out. It's over. It's done away with. Dominates him. It's a competitive fight. But it's not like it's another Inoue type of performance. He fights. It's aggressive. He adapts. And then after round 5, you're dead in the water. There's nothing you can do. He takes over and then it's over. He takes over and then it's over and the fight's done after round 5. And now it's just his show. You're just living. It's his world. You're just living in it. It's his ring. You just exist in it. But he's the one that's dominating. It could be like that. Absolutely. Crawford, there's a lot more volatility. There's a lot more unpredictability. There's a lot more unknowns and known knowns and known unknowns and unknown unknowns that we can see in this fight. That's what I just said. There are known knowns and there are unknown knowns. And then there are unknown unknowns. Well, we don't know, we don't know. There's things that we know that we know. There's things that we know that we don't know. And there's things that we don't know that we don't know. Hence why we don't know them. But that doesn't mean that they are not existing things. But they're still unknown. If you watch the Boondocks, you get that reference. But yes, that's how it is. There's a lot more unknown unknowns in this fight with Crawford versus Canelo than there are known unknowns in the world of Inoue versus MJ. So because of those unknown unknowns, we're walking through and we're saying, hey, there's a lot of stuff that can go bad in this fight, or that could turn this fight into an absolute spectacle in the best way possible, because of so much unpredictability that even with us looking at it right now, there are things that we may not take into account that have just gone over our heads, or we didn't even fathom came into it. There's plenty of stuff. Hence why I'm picking the Crawford fight with Canelo to be more competitive than the fight with MJ versus Inoue. Though, again, on paper, it would be assumed that Inoue versus Ahmed would be a more competitive affair. But I'm going out on a limb. Understand? If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But that's what I got. And so, I'm not gonna lie. With that unknown talk, I had to make sure I had it right in my mind, because I almost tongue-tied myself going through it for a hot minute. But I almost messing myself up when talking about that. But let's keep on going through. We got about 10 minutes left in the show. We don't want to go 3 hours this time. We're gonna try to keep it under 3. So we can actually have people wanting to go through and listen and watch it back without being like, oh my gosh, this is an incredibly long show. But it's great. And again, please keep on liking, keep on subscribing, keep on sharing the show. And the more you do it, the more voices we can get in, and the more support we can have, and the more distractions we can go through. We're trying to make this a very good community, a great community, an empire of a community. And we can't do this without you. So please keep on subscribing, keep on liking, keep on sharing, keep on supporting, and we can keep on making this show great, making this thing truly. It already is the hottest show on the globe. We can put it on notice for the world to see, all with you and your support. And hopefully you're enjoying the ride and we can make this happen. And I do appreciate everybody coming in for the show. But again, we got 10 minutes left. And then we're going to wrap this up and send it home. But let me come in. I feel Bud versus it's going to be boring garbage. Like Mayweather versus Pacquiao. Ooh, I don't know about that. It ain't going to be like that. It ain't going to be. I can almost guarantee you it won't be like that. It will not be like that. It may be, even if it's one-sided, I promise you, it's not going to be a boring fight. I can promise you it's not going to be a boring fight. I can almost guarantee you that. Because Crawford knows, hey, Crawford knows I got to take some chances. And Canelo knows this is my point to put this man in the dirt permanently. Not kill him, though. That could happen. Don't want it to happen. But again, as we talked about before, it's a viable option for anybody that sits in the boxing ring. But to put him down and shut up all this noise, Canelo knows the severity of, hey, it's time for me to get serious with this guy. So yeah, I guarantee you, I think it's going to be exciting. I truly believe it's going to be exciting. I feel it's going to be an uphill battle that we won't see until the fight. Yep, loaded gloves, I agree with you there. It is a loaded battle, but it's going to be something that, again, if he does climb that hill, it's going to be a great fight. Only guys we've ever seen Canelo finish is guys straight out of the ER. We put this to bed already. Spence had 3 fights after the car crash. Sean Porter was still doing great work and was beating Crawford on the cards up until he got put out. Kell Brook had some fights after the likes of Errol Spence before fighting Crawford, and then he beat him. Amir Khan, same situation. After fighting Crawford, or after fighting Canelo, getting knocked out, fought him later on, beat him. And so it's like, I'm telling you, again, from 2016 to 2023, every fight ended by knockout. At some point in time, all those people weren't damaged goods. And we've covered the career of Crawford before, which again is preposterous and ridiculous. It's insane. That dominant at 147, still winning at 154. So it's like the butter's the real deal. The butter's the real deal. Like you could have said that about any of Canelo's 20 opponents, and not one of them hurt him. Well, let me think. Again, the biggest thing with the validity in the chin of Canelo is Gennady Golovkin. Like, that's all you need to know about the chin of how much he can take. So I ain't got no issue with that. Let's see, Crawford finished the book. I think the second orbital bone was the one that Crawford broke in that fight. Spence car accident, like I said, well and good. Fought Danny Garcia, fought Ugas after that car crash. So I don't count that as really a big thing as to why he lost. Porter wasn't washed. Porter was not washed in that fight. His dad stopped it because he saw what was going down. He shouldn't have stopped it. I don't think he should have stopped it. But he was going to lose. He was going to get knocked out. That was going to happen, absolutely, if that fight had continued. But his dad shouldn't have stopped the fight. And Benavidez shot in the leg. Now, was this after the shot in the leg? No, this was shot in the leg. Yeah. Okay, yeah. He was shot in the leg. He was shot in the leg. Now, he had been fighting. Had he not been fighting that same way, in that same style for the longest time, he just got beat and then knocked out. As well, I don't know how much after that shot in the leg that affected him as a fighter. Again, I ain't got no problem going back and looking at the timeline of events, what happened, what was the gripes against him and all that stuff, with regard to which. Like, if I remember correctly, he put up a pretty good performance against Crawford before ultimately getting beat, put out, stopped. If I remember correctly. So, like, again, for every caveat, they performed pretty well. And after whatever happened to them, they were looking like what we thought they were up until they got beat. So, hey, all I'm saying is we can, if we want to, we can put a caveat on every fighter. Now, we put context to everybody, absolutely, but we don't use that to diminish what they do against a brother if what they do is indeed impressive, which is what we have with Terence Crawford. But again, because I believe Canelo, it looked like he carried him. I mean, it did, but he did try to get Ryder and Edgar. See, I'm not crazy. I know what I was saying. I'm not trying just to talk. I'm telling y'all, that's a concern. I'm telling y'all, that's a big concern. They had success because Crawford was willing to engage. What? Yes. No kidding. You're supposed to. It's the fact that we were saying they were in some parts getting the upper hand, winning rounds with those exchanges. That's the issue that we're having because Canelo could not put them out. Even, y'all remember the fight with Gennady Golovkin? The third one? When Gennady was shot to Kingdom Come and Canelo was dominating the fight. And he was actually like putting pedal to the metal, trying to like definitively beat him. He did definitively beat him. But go back and watch rounds 9 through 12 of the fight with Gennady Golovkin, the third one. And go look at what Gennady was able to do with, again, a fully dominant Canelo, who had full control. Look at what Gennady was able to do to him offensively. All of a sudden, this brother was winning the last one round 9, 1 round 10, 1 round 11, and 1 round 12 as well. With Canelo exchanging, he can be beaten in exchanges. It's possible. It's more than possible. This is the old Golovkin. That was the last fight until he retired and became an Olympic orchestrator. Ambassador and orchestrator. So I'm telling you, that like there's more. The more you look at Canelo, there's more instances of offense can work against his brother. Bivol, offense worked against him. Ryder, offense worked against him. Berlanga, offense works against him. Golovkin, offense worked against him. Shoot, to some degree, Amir Khan, offense worked against him. And the movement made him frustrated. Lara, offense worked against him and he was frustrated. Trout, offense worked against him and he was frustrated with the movement. There are things there. I'm telling y'all, there are things there. And truly are things there. Let me see. Going through, there was a fifth king. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Sack, you right. Well, Wilfred Benitez, yeah, he was. I do capitulate. Again, the dominant four kings that were seen as the top of the top were those four. Benitez definitely belonged in that conversation. Phenomenal, incredible. Oh my gosh, incredible fighter. Incredible fighter. I think you can also put Aaron. Was Aaron Pryor around that time as well? I can't remember correctly. Was Aaron Pryor around that time as well? Because if so, he would also be in that discussion. I think the dominant four were the four that I named. With, again, fifth one, absolutely, you could put Benitez in it. But regardless of which, again, the thing still stands. Crawford will be able to fit right in line with them. Who he would beat, don't know. That's not the question. Would he belong in that conversation? Yeah, I think he would. And I got to know what she's saying. Let me see. With fighting now, fighting less, yeah, they can be around for longer. Yeah, you might, Huncho, you right about that. You are right about that. The lack of being around for as long as they are. You can extend your career longer. Now, again, granted, Pacquiao fought a lot and was able to fight 36, 37, 38 years old. 36, somewhere around that time. But again, had a lot of baggage. Now he's fighting back at 46. Some people, they can actually do that for a long time. It's just, they're like that. Larry Holmes, perfect example. 23 off the backs of the career of Ali. 23 title defenses. Reigned all the way, or competed all the way until the 90s. Was elite all the way till the 90s, or at least was good all the way till the 90s. Fighting for titles all the way till the 90s. This cat was something serious. Some people, they just got it like that. It ain't everybody. And that buddy was fighting. He was gone. So it ain't everybody. But it's something. Now, I wish more people would fight more often. I will say that. But that's another conversation. That's a whole other conversation for this. Let me see. We got new people in the chat, like with Shoot. Like a lot of people, like with Blade. Blade, what's good with you? How you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning into the show. So glad you're with us on today. If Crawford was to win, either by TKO or schooling Canelo, which one of the two would be talked about more? Wait, hold on. Let me think. Hold on. If Crawford was to win, either by TKO or schooling Canelo, which one of the two would be talked about more? In regards to outcome, knocking out Canelo. You have to understand. You have to understand. You have to understand. I don't think you understand. I don't think, and again, I'm not saying that to say ignorance. No, I think you might even be, in all of your knowledge, which is phenomenal, because again, you're here on this show, so you must know something about what's going on. Absolutely, but in all seriousness, with the understanding that beating Canelo by itself would merit for many people, experts as well, putting Crawford in the top 10 greatest of all time for fighters. For a lot of people, it's going that route. Minimum, he's top 15. For most of the boxing world. If he does indeed accomplish this with everything else he's already done in his career, which again, has been a great career. If he beat Canelo, already that is a signifier of he is one of the greatest we've ever seen. Regardless of era and division. He reaches that type of pedestal. He reaches Sugar Ray Leonard-esque pedestal. He reaches Roberto Duran level pedestal. He's getting into Pacquiao and Floyd territory if he accomplishes this win. He is. Let's be completely real. He's getting into that conversation and territory. Now I got Pacquiao as a top 8 fighter, as a top 10 fighter of all time. He's getting into that category. No question about it. That's with just a straight up win. Just the win. He's getting there. He dominates Canelo, further pushes him up. Brother, if he knocks out Canelo Alvarez, do you understand how absurd that notion is? Do you understand how ridiculous that, again, like I've said before, this would be the equivalent of Roy Jones Jr. when he moved up to heavyweight, not fighting John Ruiz, but fighting Lennox Lewis instead, and just beating him would have been insane. Brother, if he knocked out Lennox Lewis at heavyweight when he moved up, we will be like just beating Lewis. I would have called Roy Jones the greatest fighter in history without any hesitation. He knocks out Lennox Lewis at heavyweight, moving up from 154. Preposterous. Ridiculous. Mind you, as the first fight at heavyweight, insane. With Crawford, it's of that ilk if he knocks out Canelo. But we're gonna have people putting, we would have people putting Crawford as the greatest fighter ever. That wouldn't be true for me. But we would have people having those conversations. We would have people saying he's better than Floyd. We would have people saying he's better than Pacquiao. We would have people saying he's better than whatever greatest you can think of. He would definitively be the best of this era if he did that. If he knocked out Canelo Alvarez, he would be the best. Canelo's already the best in all of boxing. Canelo reigns as this era. If he beat him and knocked him out, not just beat him, knocked him out. No. Would be one of the that would be. Mind you, we've had Henry Armstrong at 126 move up and fight somebody at 147. Preposterous. That took absolutely ridiculous. One of the greatest fighters in history. Henry Armstrong has done something like that. Now, granted, did he have a fight at 146 before fighting the champion? I don't know. I got to look back and see. Again, history. I need to make sure. But he defended the 126 and 147-pound titles. I think he had them both. And beat the 46-pounder for him. But this is something a little bit different. This is something a little bit different. This is naked, moving up. What? 154, 168, that's what's 154, 168, 154. Say, yeah, that's close to a 20-pound difference. That's close to a 20-pound difference. He does that, naked, moving up to fight and beat him. What else would, like, that would be so insurmountable. I might put that brother as top 5. If he knocks him out, I might put him as top 5. I'm not gonna lie. Because you have to understand, if he does that, he would have knocked out Spence when Spence was seen as better than Crawford. When Spence was argued that should have been higher than Crawford. And when Spence was the baddest man in the division, the biggest man in the division, and everything that worked against that we're saying about Canelo now, Spence was that for Crawford, and he beat him every which way, but he turned him every which way but loose in a fight that nobody thought they would ever see. The equivalent of George Foreman versus Joe Frazier. And I hate bringing up that fight because Joe Frazier is my favorite fighter. But if Crawford did that to Canelo and knocked him out, he would have had 2 dominant performances against 2 of the baddest men that people said he could not beat in one career. Cleaning house, all while doing it against everybody else. Against a brother, mind you, in Canelo, who has never been knocked out before and has faced off against objectively some of the heaviest hitters we've ever seen, like Gennady Golovkin, in the history of boxing. That would be talked about as one of the greatest wins in boxing history. That would be, arguably, that would be the greatest win we've ever seen in boxing history if this took place. If this took place and he beat him, that would arguably be the greatest win we've ever seen in boxing. That would fit the bill of a fight that we talked about for all time. that would fit the bill. That would be the fight that we bring up. When that would be so synonymous with the sport that it would be inseparable. Not just from Terence Crawford, not just from Canelo, but from the sport in its existence. You could not talk about this sport without talking about that win from the foreseeable future for the rest of the time. If we saw Crawford knock out Canelo, it would be that much of a shift in mindset, of a shift in greatness, of a shift in the ripples of what is felt with this sport. That would go beyond boxing. That would be culturally one of the biggest moments sports has ever witnessed in its history. I think you need to understand that. I think you need to understand it. That would be one of the biggest points in boxing history, in sports history, if that took place. ESPN is doing a disservice, not talking about this fight. Yes, they think the topic and all this stuff, they should still be talking about this. It should. Because, brother, if this takes place, the annals of history are going to be rewritten, shaken up, reshaping, and outright chiseled forcibly into a unavoidable conversation about Crawford, not just with his greatness, but the impact of this win on the sports world as a whole. That would be one of the greatest things I've ever seen in sports history. If he knocked out Canelo, beating Canelo in boxing would be one of the greatest things I've ever witnessed. Just beating him alone, but knocking him out would be one of the greatest things I've ever seen in sports history. On par with LeBron coming back 3-1. On par with the Patriots coming back and beating Atlanta down 28-3. On par with the Miracle on Ice. On par with the Thriller in Manila. With Foreman versus Ali. It would be like that. One of the greatest things we've ever witnessed in the history of boxing. Nay, the sport, if he knocked him out, you would not be able to walk outside without hearing about it. You would hear, like boxing, if that happened, boxing will be back. You think boxing's on a come up now. You think the sport's got momentum now from the vestiges of death itself, when it was dying, when Top Rank, PBC, Matchroom, Quisenberry, whatever other promotion you can think of, were dragging their feet, not giving us the fights that we want, and the sport losing interest after Tyson, getting it back to some degree with Floyd, and then Floyd ruining the sport again with how he went about business over legacy for the latter half of his career, and everybody following that, and we don't get the fights that we want, and the promotions just acting in kind, and the sanctioning bodies acting in kind. But if we saw this fight go the way of Crawford knocking out Canelo, with the ramping up of big fight after big fight after big fight after big fight that we've seen, oh my gosh, but a new threshold will be made. A new standard would be made for the sport. As big of an effect as we saw with the likes of Floyd and how boxers moved like him, or boxers moved and fought like him, both in the ring and out of the ring. The biggest impact like that would happen if Crawford knocks out Canelo. That ripple effect of what comes behind Crawford, if he does this, that would be felt. That would be felt. That would be felt for all of history. For all of history. All of history. And everybody now would move like Terence Crawford. Because he just became not just a biggest name, the biggest name in boxing. He did it. He would have, doing that would have reached the heights that Floyd reached, or at least gotten close to it. And when Floyd got there, guess what happened? The ripple effects of what happened The ripple effects of what transpired caused everybody to fight in the Philly shell and prioritize money over business, moving, not challenging themselves, but trying to get their pockets big, which I'm all for getting paid. But the legacy became a backseat. But Canelo Crawford does this, but that's a legacy abounding. And we said he was a fool. All of a sudden, you're going to see people, yeah, I'm moving up. I think I can beat you at this way. Let's see what you got. It would be a more normal happenstance to have these dream fights take place if Crawford can do this. It would be more so people going to war, people going to follow in his footsteps, fighting like Terence Crawford, going undisputed like Terence Crawford, fighting anybody they can like Terence Crawford, and putting in the work. It would be that big. He would shift the entire narrative for who boxers would look at when going about thinking, how should I guide my career? And who exactly should I use as a muse and a standard to follow? If Crawford already is affecting people, if he did this, he would be like that. He's taking over what Floyd did. He's taking over what Floyd did. Everybody that says that Floyd's their greatest fighter, if Crawford knocks out Canelo, they're changing their mind. You think I'm playing? What? You think I'm playing? Watch. You think I'm playing? You think I'm playing? Watch. You think I'm playing? You think I'm just talking? If Crawford beats Canelo, sure, people would still be saying, people still have Floyd as their GOAT, but people would give the respect to Crawford as it deserves. But if Crawford knocked out Canelo, coming up from the same weight class as a prime Floyd Mayweather 147, or more so 135, but when the upper echelon of Floyd at 147 was where he was really most comfortable, he goes and he fights him and he beats him at 168, the better version of Canelo. That people were saying, hey, this brother might have been able to give Floyd some real trouble and maybe beat him. I guarantee you, there's going to be a swath of Floyd Mayweather fans who have been touting Floyd as the best they've ever seen. They would go and switch their mind if Crawford pulled this off and knocked out Canelo. Not beat him. Beating him, they could still hold on to Floyd. Knocking him out, I guarantee you, you're going to see more people than you expect switch their tune and say, you know what? This brother's the best I've ever seen. This brother, people going to say, I guarantee you. I promise you. It's going to happen. I'm not saying this just as clickbait. I'm not saying it just as hype and circumstance. I'm telling you what I know. I'm telling you what I'm feeling. I'm telling you what the sense is. Because I'm telling you what the gravity of that particular outcome would be. That outcome of a knockout by Terence Crawford would be one of the greatest, not boxing wins, one of the greatest sports victories we've ever witnessed in this sport and beyond. This would add, we talk about adding to the timeline of what sports is or what boxing is, so we can tell the story the right way. This would add to the sports timeline of history. Sports timeline of history. It would transcend just the world of boxing. You can't tell the story of sports without bringing up Muhammad Ali. You wouldn't be able to tell the story of sports without bringing up this win by Crawford if it happened. You wouldn't. You just wouldn't. I'm not putting him on the same pedestal as Ali. Ali as the fighter, yeah, set in stone, no question. But in terms of a win affecting the makeup of the world of sports, this would be one of them. This would be one of them. This would leap beyond the bounds of our sect entity and bleed into everything else that we know. Also because this is the biggest, this is going to be Potentially he's going to be beat out by Jake Paul. But at this point in time, it's going to be one of the most watched fights we've ever seen in boxing history because it's on Netflix. And oh, if the public sees that, it's going to be on the conscious minds of everybody. Again, unavoidable. Undeniable greatness. That's what's going to happen. So yeah, knocking out Canelo would trump just dominating Canelo if we just saw Crawford win. Just the win alone is enough. Dominating him is even better. Dominating him like Bivol would be even better. But putting him to sleep, putting the vaunted chin of Canelo Alvarez, doing that away, knocking him out in the same way that we saw Joe Joyce get knocked out by Big Bang Jang, ending the titanium chin of one of the most durable fighters in history, at least in the modern day in Joe Joyce. Yeah, that's changing. That would trump anything anybody could see. It would also be the most unlikely option. But let me see. What about for Canelo? You think he would hang him up or continue? He's going to continue fighting. He would definitely continue fighting. Canelo is not going to. Can again, remember, he's got a 4-fight deal with Saudi Arabia. Don't forget that. The first fight was William Skull. Second fight is Canelo. Don't forget that. He's under contract with Saudi. And he's got 4 fights to go, or 2 fights to go after this fight with Crawford. That would mean after this, he probably takes another fight at 168 against who? Maybe Christian and Billy. Hypothetically, who's ranked number 1. And then afterwards, or Shiraz. Could be Shiraz or Christian and Billy. Could both of them ranked highly. I think Shiraz is interim, or like it's right at the cusp of interim. And then Billy's number 1 ranked in the division. Or, not even or, after fighting either or of those, now we get to David Benavidez. Now we get to David. Now we get to the what it's going to be rocking asunder, taking out everybody. That cat, that's ultimately what this fight is for. That's ultimately what this contract is for. Get Benavidez versus Canelo to happen. After Crawford versus Canelo, win, lose, or draw, he's got 2 more. And I promise you, it's either Christian and Billy or Shiraz if he wins. And then it's going to be David Benavidez. I don't care how unlikely it may be. It's going to happen. Turkey's putting in too much money. Benavidez is moving too quickly. Don't let him get a title. Don't let Benavidez get a title. By the time that 4th fight comes around, it's going to be a foregone conclusion. Yeah, no, it's going to happen. I'm almost assured. Now again, this is me speculating, but looking at the landscape of how this world's going in the world of boxing, it would be a foolish sentiment if Benavidez never loses and Canelo keeps on winning, that fight and Benavidez becomes a champion. Excuse me, he's already a champion. Let me rephrase that. He's already a champion because he got the interim, he got the title from Bivol. Because Bivol didn't fight him for the undisputed title. Because he was going to go and fight Artur Beterbiev. Then didn't fight Artur Beterbiev. Now Beterbiev is fighting Nicholson. So, Bivol's the champ. I'm sorry, Benavidez is the champ. With Bivol holding the majority belts. But Benavidez holding the IBF. Benavidez holds on to that IBF and doesn't get a shot at undisputed like he deserves. And Canelo wins against Crawford and or Shiraz or in Billy. Book it. That fight's happening at 175. Book it. Book it. I'll guarantee you. Book it right now. Book it right now. Book it right now. Get your money ready. Get your money ready because it's happening. The biggest fight that would be a fool not to make. I guarantee you would happen. Because the whole reason why Turkey's got this done is for that fight. I can guarantee you. I can promise you. That's why. You can do what you want for 3 fights. Make the money that you want. This last one, though, You gonna fight who I say. You gonna do what we know you need to do. Because if you, again, no, I don't know the contract, but I can guarantee you the way Turkey moves, hey, you ain't gonna sign with them without doing some work. You don't do the work, you ain't getting paid. I promise you. I promise you. That fight with Canelo and Benavidez it will come right after this. Then after that, hang them up. Maybe. Or try your hand at 175 one more time. Get back against Bebo, whatever the case may be. But he doesn't stop fighting. Because again, he's 36. He's still got so much stuff he wants. He still loves it. He still can get up to fight. He still gets animated and loves the game. And he's still at his peak. He can still do what he wants. So he's fine. The issue is the decisions at what fight he will take is the question. And what type of rope is Turkey going to give him after Crawford to let him fight who he wants? Or is it going to be, hey, you got your money. You got your William Skull fight. That was the first fight. You got your Canelo fight. That's the second fight. You got your paydays. Now it's time for you to go and work. If, again, Crawford is still work, but the biggest antithesis or the biggest beacon of work that we're waiting on is the Benavidez one. And Turkey wants that too. And Benavidez is looking harder and harder to beat. I'm telling you, they're going to make that fight. I promise you. I promise you. He's going to work to make that fight happen. He is going to work to make that fight happen. Benavidez is already working with Turkey Al Sheikh in the realm of Riyadh season. Headlining the card with Anthony Hart. Co-main event is Devin Haney versus Brian Norman. That's the co-main. Turkey loves Benavidez. And he knows he's about doing the work. So you watch that fourth fight, I'm telling you, that fourth fight, at some point in time, it's going to be, hey, either you fight with me and we get this deal done, or we're going to have to renegotiate this contract. Because the whole reason why I signed you was to get you in the ring with Benavidez and finally make that fight happen. I guarantee you. I promise you. Watch how the dominoes fall. Watch how those dominoes fall. And it's going to be exactly like that. Almost assuredly, it's going to be exactly like that. But let me see. Overdose Boxing, what's going on, brother? How you doing? Good to see you. Thank you so much for tuning in to the show. Appreciate you tuning in with us. So glad you're with us on the live. Hopefully you leave a like on the stream. What you got to say? You stupid Crawford can go with the 4 kick. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Again, I didn't say he could beat all of them. No. Who he beats, I'm not sure. We've had conversations Tuesday about whether or not he was better or not than Sugar Ray Leonard. And it was like, I'm saying Sugar Ray's better, but it's comparable. Him versus Hearns, would I love to see that fight. Him versus Hagler, oh my gosh. Depending on how he looks at 168, hey, I would love to see that fight at 160. And him versus Roberto Duran at 145 or at 147. That would be a hard fight to beat. That would be a good fight. 135, I'm more likely taking Durant than anything. 135, Crawford versus Durant, I'm taking Durant. But 147, Durant versus Crawford, now that gets a little bit more interesting. That's a good fight. Both of them are good fights, but now you're in each's domain of where they were at their best. It's an interesting sentiment. So I'm not saying he's better than any of them. I'm not saying he's a bum either compared to them. We're saying he belongs in that conversation. Where we're saying he could be however many kings you think were in that 80s time frame. With Benitez, Pryor, Duran, Leonard, Hagler, Hearns, hey, Crawford would be able to fit right in that mold. He would. I'm not saying he would beat everybody, but he would be able to belong as the, hey, yeah, you're one of them ones in this era that is indeed a different type of fighter. That's not bad. That's not disrespectful. That shows the high standard that we have for the likes of Leonard, Hagler, Hearns, Benitez, Pryor, and others. And it shows you, brother, the only brother that we're saying would fit that mold within that frame of time is Terence Crawford. It is. It just is. I wasn't even saying that about Spence when Spence was at the top of his game. When Spence was in pound for pound as well. But I was saying that about Crawford. You know why? Because Crawford's built like that. It's a different mold. It's a different breed. It's a different type of talent. It's a visibly different aura. It's a different type of hockey. Again, we watch One Piece, love anime. It's different type of polarizing sentiment surrounding Crawford. It's a glow. It's an effect. It's a feel. You can't, it's something that for some people, they can't explain it, but they can just see it. It's on somebody. That's what Crawford has. Does that mean he beats Canelo? No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't at all. It doesn't mean he beats Canelo. But he's a different breed. Like with Canelo. And like with the fighters of the past that also moved up. Duran fought and won up at light heavyweight. And he fought at 135. Roberto Duran, 5'6" Roberto Duran, fought at light heavyweight when he started out his career at the same weight class as Gervonta Davis and ended his career fighting light heavyweight. Fought at middleweight, fought at 154, fought at 147. Leonard, super middleweight, started out at 135. Hearns, light heavyweight, middleweight, super middle. 130. I think he fought at 140 at one point in time. 147, 135. Did he ever go as low as 135? I'm not sure. I'll fact check that later. He might not have gone as low as 135, but I know at least from 147 on, this brother was moving through, fluctuating, fighting retires at one division, going back down to fight another, going back up. He could do it. Hagler stayed at 160 but fought killers every which way. Different breed. All of them. Crawford's doing that same thing, going down that same path. I don't care if you think he's on par with them. That's not the question. The issue is, does he belong in those conversations? And yes, he does. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. Name another fighter that deserves it. Gennady Golovkin, I can give you that. As dominant as he was at 160, he would be fitting in that mold of, hey, him versus Hagler. Though I think Hagler would have beat him, that would have been a phenomenal fight. And he could have held his own. You got one. Anybody else that I can think of? Not really. Between the eras of 147 to 168, during the time of Crawford versus Canelo and their respective existence, I can't think of anybody else except for those two and Gennady Golovkin that could go beyond any era and be able to go and move within that threshold of 147 to 168. I just can't. So it's not bad. The bar is very strict, but they fit the bar, so we can call them in. That's all. That's all. Let me see. At the weigh-in and last face-off, it's gonna be epic. Let me tell you something right now, brother. I hope and pray. I hope and pray that this weigh-in is gonna be outside. Y'all remember Charlo versus Canelo and that raucous crowd that was coming about? Canelo versus Floyd, that raucous crowd that came out. Brother, this fight, oh my gosh, oh my goodness, this fight is going to have This fight is gonna have everybody coming out and be like, oh, buddy. It's gonna be insane. And don't let the smack talk start amping up. Crawford got mad fan base. Canelo, it's Canelo. We know what his people always bring out. But as they start clashing as fans, Canelo starts talking smack, Crawford responds in kind. They get animated for real. They step to each other for real. And there's already some animosity, but this could go down. This could be press conference of the year. This could be weigh-in of the year. This could be historic from the standpoint of whatever hype you thought there wasn't going to be. It's going to be there now. Let somebody shove somebody. Let them do it. Let them do it. Let somebody shove them. Let somebody slap somebody. Let Crawford start jawing at the crowd. Uncorking the cap like he did against Errol Spence. And going straight up unfiltered. Let Canelo get angry and start cussing up a storm. Like he loves to do now. Let him start cussing up a storm. Oh my gosh. Brother, people going to be playing that till Sunday. People going to be playing that one instance every day to that fight, dissecting literally every word. We could see a brawl break out in the crowd. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows what may happen? Oh my gosh, who knows? It's going to be exciting. I cannot wait for it. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Next weekend, I come soon enough. Next weekend comes soon enough, man. It can't come soon enough. Let me see. Sugar Nunez. Oh, yes. Sugar Nunez is fighting. I think I brought this up last show. Nunez is fighting this weekend. On top of Iglesias. On top of Oscar Valdez. Every other promotion's getting their fight in now. Because ain't nobody going to try to compete with them on 13th. They ain't doing that. They're not doing that at all. So, yeah. Tonight, Saturday and tonight, it's going to be a bunch of fights happening. It's going to be great. It's going to be phenomenal. So get prepared. Enjoy it while you can. Because, man, it's going to be, you ain't going to hear, whatever happens over this week, you're not going to hear nothing. Not a thing. You won't hear a doggone thing about any of these fights. And if you miss them now, they're probably going to pass you by. Because you're going to be all in on that Crawford Canelo thing. I guarantee you. I promise you. It's going to be insane. Oh, yeah, and Oscar Valdez as well. Yep, Oscar Valdez is also fighting this weekend. So it's going to be great. I can't wait for it. I'm excited. Again, we have gone well over my threshold of time limit, and I do apologize for that. I was not trying to go and go this long, but hey, it happened, and we love it. But let me see, but we'll do last couple chats. Quickly, we can go with the NFL. If we want to touch on for my NFL fans out there, Cowboys and Eagles, they not fighting. Might turn into a fight, who knows? But they're playing tonight, 8:30. Get ready, NBC and Peacock. It's going to be the first game of the NFL season. Oh, get ready. It's going to be mad. And the Cowboys traded away Michael Parsons. How much is that going to affect them? A whole bunch. A whole bunch. We're going to see just how bad that defense really is compared to the juggernaut of the offense that we see with Jalen Hurts, Devontae Smith, that vaunted O-line, and the touch push that just might be unstoppable again. Oh, buddy. And Saquon Barkley, who was voted number one the best NFL player in the world by his peers. Ranked NFL number one by, again, the NFL top 100. Voted on by all players. Yeah. Oh, they were looking to go back to back after dominating the Chiefs like they did. They could start with a dominating win one over the Cowboys. Or the Cowboys could say, hey, we made the right decision. That D tackle and Clark's going to stop that run. We can mitigate the pass. We just re-signed Bland at cornerback. We're going to show y'all we ain't make a mistake. But Jerry Jones, if y'all suck tonight, y'all thought that Nico Harris was bad. The vitriol that he got, brother, with Micah Parsons now leaving on top, the Green Bay of all teams, to Green Bay of all teams that you trade him to. Man, pray for Dallas. That's all I can say. Pray for Dallas, Texas, because y'all are going through it right now. Y'all going through it right now, boy. It's going to be bad. But let me read these last couple things, and then we're going to get on out of here. Promoters and fighters choose certain matches for a reason. It's not a coincidence. All those guys had issues. Yeah. I mean, you're probably right. I get it. Most of the time, promoters choose fighters that they work with. Fighters choose fighters that they're friends with. I understand that. I'm not denying that. It doesn't validate that some of the things that they say are true in their breakdowns, even if some of them are biased. Now, some of them are real. Yeah, I know the brother. And I actually think XYZ can win. Genuine. Whether I knew him or not, because of XYZ reasons. Or ABC, whatever system you want to use as blueprints. This is why I believe it. So, that's what happens. I'm not saying everybody ain't biased. No, I'm not saying everybody ain't got agendas. Yeah, sure. Absolutely. But at the same time, at some point, we got to take what we can from each of these people's voices and use it as fuel, because there is a level of truth to some degree that we can use to validate one opinion or the other as substance over biased. Eat the meat, spit out the bones. That's what we do. That's what we try to do here on this channel. So hopefully you all are enjoying it. And that's what we can see. But again, unless anybody else got anything we want to say, I think we're going to get out of here and send it home. It's been a phenomenal show. I've loved it with you all. Like with Deborah and or Justin, who's behind the screen talking to you. I think it's still Justin using the computer. Who had a different account, using a different account because whatever it is, I don't know all the ins and outs. I'm confused with it. All I know is same brother, different account. We love it and we're glad that you're here. But even still, hey, like he says, leave a like, hit the like button, knock it out, jab at the kingdom come, and we're gonna get out of here and send it home. So with all of that being said, this has been another episode of The Welch Report with me, your host, John Luke Welch. We appreciate your time and your effort and your energy on this show. Coming in, making a phenomenal show, making it do what it do. We had upwards of a consistent being of, how many people was it? Was it 10, 15, 20, how many people? Had an average about 9 people coming through. Had a high of 16 come through on this show. This has been great. It's been phenomenal. Leave a like on the stream before you get out of here. Please be sure to comment your thoughts and opinions on everything that we discuss on this show. We appreciate you all coming through. We appreciate all the support. In fact, let me slide over so we can do the last thing like we always do. Hey, we got, oh no, I'm going the other way. There we go. Hey, yeah, thanks to everybody who came through on the stream. We appreciate it. We love it. We can't wait to see you all on Friday. Again, it's going to be the championship rounds, and whatever you say, we'll be able to discuss right here on this show. You all got the conversation, but it will also be championship rounds where I'm going to give my pick full breakdown officially for Crawford versus the Canelo. It's going to be a great time. It's going to be phenomenal. Thank you to everybody that was here in the chat. If you want to support the channel, Cash App and PayPal, links down below because we ain't got super chats right now in the description. If you can support, it will mean the world to me. We appreciate it oh so much, as well as top the pound for pound chatters for today. Number 3 was indeed Sack. Number 2 was Mike Huncho, and number 1 was Al Booga for today. So we appreciate you coming through, and we appreciate Al Booga taking the top spot as the pound for pound number 1 chatter in this show on today. We appreciate all your support. We appreciate your time and energy. We appreciate your effort. And again, we're going to see you all on Friday, championship rounds, and we're going to be here breaking down the fight in full for the world of Canelo versus Crawford. My full-blown prediction, full-blown pick, or full-blown pick, how each can win, and who's going to win outright, why, and the ramifications of each. But it's going to be phenomenal. Y'all might agree, y'all might disagree. We're going to have ourselves a time. Be here on Friday. And hey, I've been John Luke Welch. Y'all have been wonderful. Peace and love. Oh, we are out here. Yes, sir. We are going to see you all on tomorrow. Be safe. Be blessed. Get ready for tomorrow because it's going to be great. And we out here.